platform na dosso. Quello in casino. Prima era solo Facebook, uno andava lì. Adesso c'è TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. E poi ci mancava che io mi mettevo a fare anche Instagram, ma l'ho lasciato stare perché già questo, ciao, non ci capisco niente. È più difficile, eh? Ah, meno male che non ci ho provato, guarda. Oh, mamma mia, dai. Cosa c'è? Okay, let me do right. Okay. Yeah, okay, YouTube no ci siamo. Mi chiamo nyina abusuafo ma mo nyina makwa bampam cho. Munya wotere kakra bi I'm trying to connect the Boom Boom platform because it's saying in TikTok na yakogu ntino. Mi chiamo nyina pa cho ba so I wait me a comment no who say what's me nene pa yeah. Okay, thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining timpam cho. Munya wotere na menye TikTok there and I don't know so me putting off na me so yeah man. Pachamutu Mikayo, Robert with us in Papa as usual. I the person can make a TikTok no at least no me comment in but okay. Me put to the off number so I think say no ever one because old one they wasting me time. Yo bra Mati, thank you so much for commenting. Ti me who say mote me nkan ye pam pam cho. Enti me guest no was some pam cho so na na e di nkan aka no ha. Ye mani school nti na ye na ye wa ha no mo say ye ba be kasa. E di account your phobia o itili ha de. Once I go back to school the osakra na I think say e ye bibi I say we interested in because me so say sa me mani susa but me say meji bibi a yɛbɛduru baabi na ɔmbɛkɔ secondary school ne ade no na mede aboa mo nti pakyɛ wonya abotrɛ kakra bi because yɛka sɛ TikTok na ate kɔ pakyɛ why ate kɔ and I'm trying to join there because ɛhɔ no monim sɛ ɛhɔ no nipa dodoɔ understand yɛn nyinaa yɛakɔgu hɔ nti sɛ mema ne kasa na sɛ ɔmo ne ba later a ɛgye yɛ sɛ akɔyɛ gyebekya ɛno deɛ mempɛ ne saa okay just 1 minute. Okay, let's try it again then. Oh, mamma. Okay, now YouTube yeah, also we are very, very patch. I'm about some other woman, my type. I like here because as usual, let me I me share baby. It's I think it's best starting with YouTube, and then piano, the echo anymore. You can send the TikTok so can because on the padodo go into him now start it. Craba baby say bisa questions and yes, I could chintika. Meet me there honest start I just think no. Okay, now let's start from somewhere. It's never at least me person me who say YouTube no more so ete won can. It's yeah, starting from La Scuola in Italian. Emrana casa cos'è che dice la legge? Se bisogna cominciare la scuola. Quindi è un pochettino no, quando mi fai il discorso mi join TikTok na my brief no kakra bi right now on YouTube no ye wasunte no I think say you betimi the YouTube no I start nti en hwɛ say bi nso a audience nso te won kan ya na be ya omo ntia na me ho sɛ no so me di ho njuma pa once again thanks for joining me bravo thank you so much for accepting my proposal say na for Sunday way if me that's papa no dai cominciamo dal piccoli proprio, poi andiamo piano più su.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a again, you prefer no chi or
Ci lo cacabenti mi abbe mana.
okay, I'm trying my best.
Dai che ce
Okay.
la fai. What yeah, kakra now what they support because audience no ye Ghanaians so there kakra poi ci sono io na mi so mi di tree the kakra support
Okay,
sa.
perfect.
Aha.
Perfect. It's when mandatory school and then there's a fuck school. Into Apolano, so yeah, from zero, our best at school, it's a more friend of scholar than infantia. The scholar infantia, no, makes me divided into steps. Now I know the facultative. And yes, sir, well, I call my phones. Now, scholar than infantia, no, the first step is asilo nido. The asilo nido in the free, almost 3 months to 3 years. And the facultative, the Kolanamoko, I must have
Asilo need motive no parents no dey nkran ko because ABS was start adwuma nti wonya obi a obekipu akran je se wode ne copy pickoli na nkasa nti no dey se won start adwuma na won pese wode ne bekwa wo betimi agyae se bibi nso ntina wo behia nso dey na je se wode ne kwa up to 3 years dey eyewa wo choice me say me mani nyina no can say me try ma omunya 3 years and na me do because I'm not working as me ye adwuma na bibi nti no e bia me hia say omko school na metimi come adwuma e ba sa je say metimi de ne kwa azilo ni do and right now no per fortuna na me nim se mo penso no chara questa cosa qua ma in Italia adesso c'è la possibilità se o de akwa ne kwa azilo ni do abai no si paga. Quindi non essendo obbligatorio è una tua scelta no echiaka nti echiaka one more chance se un bonus asilo nido per cercare di recuperare un po' quei soldi che tu hai pagato quando lo stai mandando. Quindi un po' di anni fa forse non lo so se c'era o non c'era, ma adesso c'era.
Yeah, first the comune. Sai, quando sei this level, no, è mostly the comune ya na mosheso. Nti so family yeah, juma na parents no mo nisi pebe bre ho. No normally between ya ko comune ho na me ma kasa say because of working conditions. Yes, of course. But who are calling with you? Say no program here and also discount here betting ya we community tell me wetin na for solution because facultative you know commune be more numbers of asilo need or more territory nti important say we hear say we be akola ni ko asilo need say we call intempa ni commune kasa because numbers of economics ni aje per year any store. Nti so pessoa di economico asilo di adesso uko tempa na ni comune e casa na omo bebia free position bi o team da ko ala because asilo di no se entire endorse ala asilo di no so e nese eso ti se scuola media l'età una nase superiore nti eso will apply really sana when your position position until it means with about position here and was same as you would say and yes commune we won't power say because everything as you say school ni no na e ba won the whole positions ni na am feeling nti who about apply the closest or the nearest school that more position I got on big mouth. We do now when it's a yamawa that's a name because akwala we will do local by a girl Jumano time, time. This time the parents decision plan is important because facultative and nkwala no ọmụ nkọ asịrị n'ido ọmụ nkọ akọ shia adị bia yɛ super important yeah and the parents na ɛsɛ wɔn ti na wɔhwɛ sɛ okay no akwala ɛsɛ no akwala baako na ɛyɛ kɔ ɛsɛ bɛta sɛ mbɛ kɔ asịrị n'ido na sɛ ɛsɛ bɛta sɛ ɛkɔ adwuma na sɛ bɛti na hwie na mahwɛ akwala no for first 3 years.
Okay, obusiafo medamu nyina masipana una timo metimi join TikTok nti we brief on fast one then we continue medamu nyina mas thanks for joining mfa enche me mehu se me Facebook na ha me TikTok so tiko ye jawadro ti me chia mu nyina me pam cho YouTube me chia mo pa thanks for joining pa cho ba so a o like ya na te so mo se finally no me gina pintin it's me pam cho se ni ani yakadada no any life no is about school. Italy had no say school, you know. Me invite me you ever back up. Mo find chemi say mo hu na because mo young. Youth for on patch TikTok or more so. Instagram. And I hear you na YouTube for the more pa. Twitter so more kakra. Yes, I can say Twitter. I say ho kakra na Instagram no mo pe panty. TikTok account so come here so creative. No the be share. And I was trying to join him from Facebook because all the minimum so many years who know but Facebook me yeah na affiliate to kwana ma disconnect here no answer. So pa mo choose mo fan chemiti no. Yeah, starting with the peche for one cry. O my etias say cry starting from 0 to 3 years. And only ya zero nido. And no dey any obligatory such and say so dey akra na dey ekọ ho no. And only dey awofo for your needs nti e bia wo hia say akola no ye kan say obekọ school because you go adwuma and I be to pese okọ azilo na de kunti I started from peche no timi pamcho monka echi you are still in time iti from peche no na yegusu so sa because I know say ono no timi ko ba seminar it's not the edru na wa cheche munti no monka echi kra pamcho ye nko ye nim jam and I know say azilo de ye nyina ye nim and won e mani bebre that but ye shall say for na be for the meantime bi anse manyanya issue I say ye de ko ye nim kakaka san so na you can say or mutimi boa azilo for with bonus bonus bi wo no ma for azilo need no ya demand na na chese o matimi okay oba afternoon na ho ye oh Miss Raya mami hi na me mana say me fuma me so da ba wo sha wo timi ke onua ba wa hu say because so oba say wa oh mama it's me pamche when I do then from asilo no nana then they start with scuola materna that training point from 3 years no ma start scuola materna.
Yes, the scuola materna is 3 to 6 years old. Nti ɛhɔ na ɔmo start sɛ ɔmo learn sɛ alphabet ne numbers ne counting no sɛ nneɛma nketenkete bi saa no no any socializing with other children. Nti ɛno deɛ ɛno nso so ɛyɛ facultative ɛnyɛ mandatory sɛ akwadaa no bɛkɔ scuola materna so nti parents nti it's the same discussion nti sɛ as you don't need it. And also, I said, apply to the level 10. Who said, I'm more position here and also, the parents now decided based on their needs. And so, I look at scholar materna and I said, parents back up to next year, what share, small things are for the numbers.
Okay. Na me pa ucho say dey ya ba mi ejina hu fa ya da ba we na ba sokin to e ya ba na so ya dey o twi no ba pa thank you so much. right now I'm streaming live on TikTok. I didn't know saying age. So as soon as YouTube so when I'm no saying age I will see for this me and my can kasa for your man school. Now I know say tuntum for the bebre enim side way but yen nuanom na omo ye kokofo morokino ne we no mo so ya what the same but omo ye kokofo omo no use sa method we ya so wotie me brand kasa na o can say squara materna which is from the 3 years to 6 years na ya omoko no eno no enye obligatory say wo dey akra no ko but ya dey bebre no ennim because so obi ne have home discussions some years back because say no edu no amfa na nkwa aban ne be dey obe hawa na say obetimi aye but squara materna no ye nuanom no mo ye morokino from mo use pa omo na ya no mo pese omo ma no eti omo kasa na eno ne ho hia omo pa enti omo si odi akra ne ko omo krom na oni mo mama mre ne omo kasa na ha dwen just say omo woni hu different sa wo pese wo tu kwan ti free wa mamre ne wa mane ho ana enti no omo kasa no hia omo pa enti mehu bebre omo no matena omo ma nkra na tena fie morokino ne sa ifo na meken wa ma nkra na tena fie enti minim se beka last year no na materna no ma wi o se scholar primaria no de ya obrigo no de ko na materna no which is 3 years to 6 years no mehu omo bebra o ma nkra ne nko o ma ne tena fie ne se ono abeche ne bi kakra fine but obesa kwa ne te ono ne kasa ne kwa akire no ko rema still no watimi afọ omo so de ne de account ne de na wo me fa no na wo nja ono ne de no because omo so kom krom a issue mom say it's not accepted so be treaty obane that way so am na fa we mu nkwan dey very important for them to know na ma me can say link up say enye obligatory say we dey be call materna no but la scuola d'obbligo na 90 starting from la primaria scuola primaria which is for almost 6 years no up to when
to 16 years old
16 years no na we you know superiore no
it's superior India maybe you 18 to 19 years old but obligatory if started from 6 years old to 16 years old until nipa bebre information no mi class Italian bebre 16 years old high school
yeah this me have a experience no say can you be call school kakra no from 16 years no bebre ni drop or so akoye ejuma no person beto school to be because say e won e obrigo man wan kwa e betimi kwa ha na awofo until from akra ni 6 years up to 16 years Italy ha na ye mra say scholar d'obbligo e say wo de ne ko wan fa na nkwa wo fo na nkasa any would na free not before for there no dey different thing but so what ha say no wan fa na nkwa na bibi koso na e ba say that's so Charlie ati ya na bia koso nti wan hu a ye betimi a chewo ho obrigo nti we bon so scholar d'obbligo e say wo de ne ko upe umpo nti pam cho mama yen hye nso sa nti scholar d'obbligo na to Italy ha na up to 16 years nti e ba sa secondary school no obe wie 3 years obe ye 3 years pe
yeah the years of the students to tell me I will be second year and third year but not normally we have made yes normally we get the five when you're 16 years old once we are 16 years old what so we finish your high school and I said we drop in our share
adesso awo kan na medwene ho se unya ukwa secondary school no superior no 3 years omo ye exams asana mato aso mebo a
could be choose your high school is a professional if you was 3 years but most of the high school in Italy is 5 years. They said liceo or istituto tecnico.
Quindi alla fine non so be every 3 years no which are only 16 years no. That's what so unko be ma eshe sense on diploma.
No, it depends school na I attend
A bit depending school na I attend no. Okay.
Yeah. Into 7 years the chair the 5 years. Into say we drop 16 years old we have diploma because the diploma is certificate say when you high school. And a diploma is a series of exams we apply now we now we pass. To pass it here na number diploma say when you high school. But so we drop first there we have 5 years and we then maturity so I don't know high school.
Yeah, final exams Italy how for high school no referee Ghana the anything news phone na kasa phone because it's very important. How so say news phone na kasa phone because very very important exams no. Your friend maturita. Maturita. And on high school where we in 5 years final exams no orals and writing.
Yes. It also depends school. But most of the time writings and I want or say three writings is Italian. Remember say 4 or 5 points together with me choose. Remember say write about Dante Alighieri and I say talk about the impact of colonialism in Italy and Ethiopia. And as well we also write about the impact of education in your life. I remember our topics, it's a 4 or 5B. And then the important thing is my maturità questions now being and free directly from the government.
Ministero dell'istruzione.
Exactly. I'm friend new Ministero dell'Università e della Ricerca. I don't know, I'm decide topics now, for example, the Italian writing. Remember, I'm sending my Ubia or high school. The students, Ubia a new topic now,
yeah.
The day exams I'm very review exactly that time for all the students, all the high school in the whole Italy at the same time. So now would be any advantage which me prepare first and also which me I write on this. So a serious but I said I'm just say we'll be able to cheat here.
Yeah.
In fact, so university application. So I'm not taking this.
Very very serious pa it's me pa chow omo amo person mo request ba student me pa mo chow mo ba so papa na me ye late no my head na beta hiding me da mo na am ase de ma botra ya mo nya mo me pa mo chow say na na so you be a tree na ye de na ma for so na me se mestre me audience na ye Ghana for enti mestre na ofa tree ni mbra bra mu my enti who say ni no because of say tree do yeah for so no but I hope say you know better and so na yet na me ask me try so we dey me kakra bebem say be at least mo so mo be capture me na mo ta 80 million me da mo na am say my joint be so ba so na wa like na wa share say be pa do na be mo see aba so awo for bebre wo Italy han mo say ya I think say enye awo for ayinku a me kwa me ne mo ka say na experience bi sa time na che internet ni wo nti awofo no na omo nnim niema bebre fa school no mo sa nti niema bi ono mo a omo ehu antimi antoto amayen ti yenso nkola asem yenso yedim ne ye de ye kwa na yakopem bebi ya pem nti omo so omo nya lock obo ho a onde opem ye quote mi call na nim no ebi ni mia me brother sell my invite na so mra no cause omo de omo timi wure mo ai de quality no some of the things I be powerful chow some tie nti na be a mo ba bua ankra no say afi no mu nyini ese mo guide won mo bua won saa ebedu ba bi de obedu university ni ma bebre de ana ono atimi kọ won no kwa hunu eyinim bebre sina wo sese otimi chusu manage ne ho but beginning especially from mo high secondary school no ana aya na tie problem pa my blacks no Nana, help me here. I think say I will for no answer now ban be secondary school name no. Yen as black parents no. And then na yen hwe ne mo no ntimi enchusu Niger. Because when we say choosing of the secondary school, especially now more black children, yen bebre. Because for choose bibi kwe bia no wantimi afa ankowie. Be wie echi no na amwa no ntino that always say prevenuto no up to baby as say wa rich no. What do you say as African parents, especially with also side with mommy and daddy no? Then I want to say omo nhwe man mo fra na bra ye best start say ye free. Some ye free media na ye ko superior me boa. Scholar media no so ye for 5 years me boa.
Scholar media and they're free 11 to 14 years old.
Okay, 11 to 14 years. Okay.
The important is obligatory school in Italy. It started from elementary. It was 6 years old to 11 years old. To Uyena, Ubako Scholar Media, and also from 11 to 14. Scuola elementare e scuola media, and it's almost all Italy. There's not much difference between one school from the other, and parents they don't need to truly know. There's no choice.
Choice, something I will be choose. Now from media no. From media no then now for the over course secondary school no superior.
I don't know decisions no matter but the parents need to prepare because we were 13, 14 years old and so the parents need because application for high school also I started say 1 year before I
media.
And see, don't wait at the end and then you start searching for the high school for your child. And then yes, as a school officer, I have almost no position.
Basa cry be another na opese work no because e be am apply late nti na fe de makochu so foforo be enye no na ope ana mope. It's no answer no obewie can say media na no ebeka 1 year before no I start hwehwe baby opese work no this one little no media no teachers for no start say picro seminary and I say something to explain how to choose the school for them and I'm a
so teachers are almost choice on no baby on person but this is like something that I remember. Who someone 12, 13 years who name your person we have and teachers the best and but there's a never be pretty yes said I wouldn't name at that time. It's important for us parents no who are dear or person ye any dear so person called university for taking that in consideration. So person call ye a juma and so in their schools are getting up one or more say and I said the chair of this it's important say who say akolano or yeah they will school and I said person call many and I said person oh yeah so that's 18 years old or person call a juma it's important say the behavior of the child
and yeah we show my very a moment to be very very important because some already work and I crown over 14 years no share them who never be brave peace crack a crab in almost there no crane any 14 be son of crana what about for cancer said no I not to send BB such as I didn't know it won't in nature but most of the times no one no yeah share them who near per se again instead on I can say se some to me out for mutimi hwa akula ni mu say or you be at the way in school 70 no owie obetumi akọ university ana owie a oya akora bi obetumi akọ university enti no ebasa on choose bi say no ato aso yo me chiamo nyina ma me good evening acha ka ye be bia dia atom e dia ama ana so oya akora bi a that be na just ate no e better so be bibi mu a e leading towards ensano juma e bi ana and this is something I normally tells my husband. It's not mean him say bia na me do na me nya can say courage, and also from my parents' side and also from my side, I mean to us one. And then come the year bibi am be so answer no. I always tell him that because me meet me na me say na me person me to us. But life and some conditions ni be mama akonya ne sa. It's no all right now na me tie the be I am cause no. I did be me a mistake pass na me nim say senior year can 14 years ni ade ye hia wo fo no say won ba so much. So okunya awofo a nani hye da hwe baabi ye nso satan ye maame no no omo diga dan na omo si wo Ghana ne nko ahụ adwene ti wore ndare kwazi chim kwagwa danana ti wore ndare kwazi chim kwe onti no na omo hye da enni hu ayi bebre saa se omo behwe pi nti eno so amoa. And see, very important from 14 years to be home. I know so now also nya say experience ni be say me share student for any omo call ya superior no mo change be say 2-3 times me bo a okona ni ma no say no me va why can be a vero so also nya say experience ni be secondary school no.
Yeah, high school because you me was 28 students. In the first drop because one if you know me almost school in a neighborhood until no voice now from the almost 1 year. We want so G school. If we want so almost for the second year, me as 16 years old and
also for year Juma.
Some kwa year Juma. And see it's important past parents no omunye who dear akwala no here any the limitations and answer how good the child is on studying and how good is willing to actually move on with his education because also can I say the school system is never before we been catch and say it's getting worse and worse. But the important is no so really wait for so we so call any man and we call any.
Yeah.
And I mean so thanks to God and my parents, between me share there or outside the Italy so the knowledge in the Italian system, it's in my it's way better, even compared to the UK system. I don't know about the German one because I wasn't really close to it, but if I have to compare the knowledge based on the Italian system compared to the UK system, the Italian system always wins.
Yeah, so thank you so much. This is something I'm so oh my yeah.
And then important high school choice also important, but even if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world because once you finish high school, so you know, and I say some person will call university now. Well, once you finish your maturita, wait till the university. Especially like in my case, me a technical had normally the classmates who call engineer university type of studies. Me who say idea may excel and now there was other subjects not me in high school not me more and then person become a not to them they share by 97 biology and chemistry. But there was other high school that was way more prepared for that kind of university study, which is the liceo.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to university. and I was still able to finish my studies. I was even better than a lot of students who came from the High School. So it's important that important. So choice that we're going to choose high school is important, but and yet it's not that fixed in your life. So that we have mistake or hand yeah, maybe I may be intimate with me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We have mistake. And which are correcting.
Okay.
It's not fixed.
My main summarize. Suddenly, I can say a man from media. No more started choose superior. Superior and so on. Very important. Say obey choose so well because the leading no at the university into us one. Today I can also say almost 14 years. I pray. Just still now, no better son I every 1 second. Be first also be way. I would also say son I drink. No, I don't know. Me at say and yet. Person may say a big deal there, but and yet a BA who say in case or choose secondary school be no yes mama many in jail no who be person Mrs. San slow bet me as son at the same time they saw only cases say secondary school choose Swiss or kono or na subject the almost sua or no I think leading it to engineering or the other classmates will be normally call university na hono FI but onu say no chemist ne other things bi na mo kyerɛ ka ho kakra bi no ana onu na n'ani gye mu to opeki ho ntina nka obeso oye chemist ni weni nkwa na ke wo secondary school no dey nke be prepare ni year pa for university but okwa join ni we no dey finish here no ntino e ma o university no sakofa chemist ni side na Esenko faced difficulties, but he was still able to make it because maybe on white miss and I didn't so home. Na say very important say ofo no ebe hunu say ese akwani chusu we so and ni je ho because say for so now usua be something that you are not interested, you don't love to do
Hey. So don't say parents yeah, but I know especially what they call university. But again, when let me show my parents my father choose the high school for me because of a 7 years engineer, like a mechanical engineer and stuff like that. Man, that time, I went with it because my cousin named the person here. But that was high school, it was 5 years. So we take it with time now. We see idea by naturally. We bet you see never be play. They say baby we are idea ni baby we are. So me high school for me maturity marking not quite good, but me say that we call engineer or for university. I would not finish it. I knew it. That means that we call engineer now maybe because the good mark now me get me. That it mostly was coming from other subject that was not related to engineering. You see, the important part say parents no. So creative environment say we fear we bet me tears the akola no year school. The important say parents no. Omne teachers ne kasa. Any akola no so kasa no hu the nyama na ekoso.
Me person me bisa o question way. Wouldn't say parents na be mistakes say ma akwara ni choose according to the votes. Ebi a me hu say ebi ope I don't know mathematical part me choose Comeliche secondary school no. Se uno è molto bravo in matematica, qual è la scuola? School bene be choose for secondary school e wa no. Può andare quale?
Matematica è il liceo scientifico.
Scientifico.
Liceo scientifico è di students for science, math, and I will only get theoretical knowledge.
Scientifico non so ma te si è din pa.
Scientifico a lot of theory. They say math, physics, and science in general. Into me personally, when I work, I can 30 years old now. So me call it because I I don't able to actually finish in 5 years.
Really? You can't finish it?
I mean, yeah, but my situation was different from, I don't know, the children of today, because I went to Italy when I was 10 and a half. So in those 10 and a half, I only have like 3 years to actually get to the same page of the other Italian students. So if I would have gone to the certificate, my level of preparation was not the same. Like I have to be able the same level of Italian students who study for 5 years of elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
They know Italian. In those 3 years of school media, they built upon it. And the one who chose for the church certificate were the top 5% of our class. So there are people who really like school. They were really brilliant in like scientific studies. Even though I was quite good at.
I know that you were good now. Soprattutto in matematica pensavo che eri un super. Mi sai, Mas sei di.
Not that was good, but my preparation wasn't good enough. I would have struggled a lot because I was coming from Ghanaian background, and I had to recover 5 years of elementary school, 3 years of scholar media, learn Italian, learn a lot of other things, all putting together in 3 years, and then immediately start high school. In specific vision, the Church Certificate was not a good place for me. But the high school that I chose to go through it was more like, as I was saying, technical school. I was still able to build upon the technical aspect of it and also the scientific technical aspect of it. That at the end of the 5 school, I was I was still really good on math and science, and that pushed me to university. So what I'm trying to the important say parents now, situation now, because your might be really good on one subject, but you need to understand if his position is going to be advantageous for him when he go to high school, or you have to maybe recuperate a lot of stuff because maybe he's coming from Ghana, and the Ghana education is obviously different than the Italian education. Your child might be in Ghana, but he still needs time to get used to the Italian system, get used to the way teach, how Italian teachers evaluate your markings, and just sometimes it's just knowledge. You might be a genius, but if you don't know things, you're not going far. So sometimes you just need some years to build it up, and then from there you can move on to the university. And again, once you finish high school, you can choose any university that you want.
Any university?
Any university of the world. So you don't need to go to some person you yes by force we call liceo, which technical school, and that's a professional school of more 5 years. You have 5 years not to we have maturity university be always apply to it.
University normally no only provide ingresso o ci sono solo alcuni. No.
And different. So it depends. The only test it's mostly based on one thing. There is a fixed number of students that the university can get for that year. So if the numbers no ever from and the university only test now select students now we are good for that position. The medicine and I say architecture. Our numbers no issue. By and the probably apply to it every year. And by force, and some select the best. Maybe if that's how the selection, but nonetheless, maybe it's not a discussion.
Okay, me summarize as I don't from power to my room, me TikTok, you know, from Bam, some of my young quiet, me Baba summarize it. And I think say discussion when they are very, very interested for me. Me say me manage to support, but since I be go school, I mean, who mistakes be ya 4 year ya wines no almost school called many the whole pa from Korabremu na because I know say from Korabremu na all building nti so wantimi am build e bedru baby no ontimi nti from Korabremu na no de omo ye bia hu hia me papa nti se bedru baby no ontimi aha nti from Korabremu na ye mo ye ni enko omo enye obenyi no na afa na obeka che ne se na asuade na onsu suade but ebi o suade wo giant na sa teachers for you company wan hye dem fi na jede ne mu an de koi but obedru baby no won say host bi obegija wo mu na no anya ne ho ansuade besa te ayi ne ho aha besa te ne ho because say wan hye dem sua nti ade bi wo ho no kra na se no osua from beginning obedru na anim no onim kakra bi na de source so sa na de continue school no side dem many at the ho no pa then so na ye ka no ha say secondary school so do no choose a na nanampo ne ye ka say so to secondary school bi kwa na enhye da anye correct one na beginning na wantimi ansesa na de ko nanim a de hia nse obetimi awie na why final exam say ka say friend maturity no na at least when you need diploma then when you need diploma university bi opese apply we Italy here bia no obetimi apply he said something na we ade bi wo mu aya meka aha wo mu aya meka because I me sorry me chess and school for the be asem kra na ye bibi na ese me kasa ye won panyimfo na ese me ma kasa me ta ka chom say one of ade a Italy for wa ahoho a ye wa ha ye hu na ye nti ase and I think say wonim history kakra me campo a eni kwan say me kasa bebre to convince you say me convince you obehunu say no correct aha ene say or method of study say the chire nipa dey one of the best enti akra bia obesua de from Korabrem kakra free ha e dey kokko ni mpanyim fie su no so okuba bi foforo kra na oyakra bia o willing say obeso osua de nko ade a most at times they are able to make it to do na amahu ni nyina no they are able to make it so obeso osua de nko ade because of ha no mfiti asene ntiti ya ne kwan ya omode omo fa mu ni ade ni ntino most of the times no omo unite make nti omayeti asese university no utbetimi owie na obetimi atusu dio opese o je ni nyina abra omo de numbers bebam say bia ye be accept we yan accept we abra e bia university bia nipa dodo ne requested do te so omo pese omo ye doctor any architect no o say eno no type bisa na ya na omo nipa dodo ni kogu so dodo nti no e ba se na mo hwena se e bia sa area na nipa dodo no so e ba no yetimi fa nipa I don't know na normal university quanti potete essere in classe okay so so pa he say be say accept any per 50 am I exaggerating if I say 50 and 100
for me first year there's 300 something it's only divided into two groups there was a group A and a group B and they depending university
nti so o ka say 300 crore no pa just say nipa dodo e basa particular verse na akra ne person o choose no no mo hu sa afi de mo don so toto ya na mo betimi aka say ye the exams bi to ho monye why ebe hu say nkoye za wo kra no because secondary school no timi gbo fa mu bedru ya na ye say wonye prepared na ya select mu nyina and no just want me go university bi mu no sa ya one particular na ya anje no then maybe he can try another sa so na say omo so betimi afa mu nyina so ma fa mu then wo woman na be kire say obetimi afinish and now to me finish ni na ya adesua we no kona no lunkulunku ti me ba wo for chew omusua ya no mo fa mani ndi o ma adesua echi because ye no na o de beko ontimi nkoye lungulungu la live ye no na mo de beko to so na shasefu wani di na chi ha ye papa mo chewa sere mo agudie no the sound de eye more pa me se me man da bia me ta ne omko agudie ne say ye more pa but try say wudi wani bedi na chi wa ye kwa ye ntika say no abrofo na ya ade say ekro bi a wutim bia me se me kro ne ekro ketekete so no ye nyina ye wo kan say library wa ha to dia won ntika sa ne kra na ye den fa ne ko omo chocho age you books ni bi omu a onye ni reading kakra homework ni we no nche say ondi ago the whole day wahu to the kakra obeti bia na de wani di na chi kakra omu so wani di na chi no ni tiri mu no onu ni tiri no omu so wani di na chi no onim say wo follow wahu onim say wo bi kra kasa na nwure mpapa bi esa onim say wo hwe mu hwe ni bookum na adan na we wutin ya ha maestra sign me o se say wa choro den oh na de wani di na chi sa na do wani de chika krakra eno na ode ebekọ ha na ode ras ni mu so e de ama mutimpa mcho mi ahwe se befa sam minis bi nanka mama ma start ya bema na ade ba ko na awofo ye pese ye hodwodwo ye kakra ye botom enti ye pese ye hodwodwo ye pese wo kan no ne kakra na ye pese ye ba mama fo start pa chwe bi e phone line na tumti no wo ba so na se wo hu se wontimi join on TikTok na wetimi afre number na de bia me ye life our friend 35 344 6007 se pacho me so ye nti me bia tuma na pacho afre 35 344 6007 na we bisa question bisa na ma wonu aso bisa nti so bombo ma dia na bo like me life ma me ye bibia am expecting say Ghana for ye wo Italy ha ye go 15,000 it's not can me expect say emu quarter kra ni follow no engage platform na at least by now no ke betimi adu be say over 500 but you see say kakra bi because say bebre na no ada see any mma bi wa ha na say o makra na bedru ba bi no na ye ya ablemu Italy for no but when we na ya nkura na omwa ha omusua ade wa itimi gi scholarship di sua ade ko omanim ebi na menim no dada nti ene na ka senti senke so ya gi akọ no kakra na ke so ya di aboa ye mma because ha no o share internet so make catch us say we are singing na one of university we acquire for pa Italy nti ba se na akwa no do timu dada na iyo no kura wote no ntimi franco university no obi timi request free Ghana enkura bebre request free Ghana me no ka se me onipa bebra omwo Ghana omo so omo request a university aba ha because omo timi ya subject ni bia English nso nkwa na kire wo omo so omo na e ba ha be na akwa ni mo ti ha ah wono no di onima ha sister ni mu ni so awofo ni na we are not able to push them. I'm wondering it's then ya from me view kakra me hu ye no you say awofo no so your responsibilities be bra ba mcho ni etimi ye na mpa cho buaye na oba memo abaso ama me just a minutes people buaye na you understand when na ebi abosa the studio asem start which is the scholarship no time ben start ebe di juma wa akra ni school na ese level ben so na wodu ansa na wanya because thanks for the gift but enye say easy so sa but yeti ase a na ke hu say start che pese e ma no so nya sa scholarship ni bia which are bebre fi be ji wa busuafo na ye hu no yes ye ne a sha ase ne abre ha ye de ne aye tie kakra ye betie then obo o na adwen se bia me ma be ye video ya akwa akopuma we bi na me ma jim de na me de aboa me ma na me dundum sa phone we no na obi e gbo ne bra because this is something they think nipa be brain no ye interested see ye betie nipa na ye bi ye masusan so no obo o no odwen se o be ya ma gift o ya ma ho bi na me ma ni hia me se me so sa phone we me di na chi na ko hin ma ko we school ama na me ni abre na ma so phone share me say yan for ye na I'm not doing that ti me pa mo chwa say yan e was ni entie ni ye pa na ye betwi na wo nso yi na ye ni abre pa be bisa questions we pray it is scholarship ni so no time ben start eye adwuma pa wa ha Ha.
See, if the way as a freeze, you share. Can you?
Yes, me, I can hear you well.
Okay, then continue. See, most of the students they type of goes to the studio. For example, who go to the studio from high school before. It depends on most of the time the school itself.
Common, okay, yeah, break up kakra ha. From secondary school na no scholarship ni start me request na emu no. Aya na eta free common, sa na o kan ye ho.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's tell me I'm work na I'm to me everyone and I told you times where told you there was a company being almost a grocery studio for high school. But it's really specific. It depends. It's not a issue because I know it's not advertised that much. It's so that's a bit more of school itself, you know. It's the best way to actually know.
Na me curiosity or the fact say the person me hunu say ebi say student no nso nya level bi. Enye say because of secondary school no akọ request bo sa the studio the man, but na person who educate yen was aspect say ebi say otimi drew some level of study say bi ni mark ni vote no nyina yes say bi answer ho aha na me boa.
Correct. Most of the students, there are different types. If you know higher, depending on student marking. So, one person more a student no more try their best. Most of the time, we use some markings to determine who's the best and who's struggling and who's not struggling. And see, that type of most of the studio. Well, most based on the income of the family. So here, how much money the parents are making, if they have like some properties. I remember they will ask in Italy and outside, but they just care about the property in Italy. So don't bring out stuff you have outside in Italy otherwise.
Yes, that's why they don't worry. Wako soon that everyone Ghana there so where Japan they was have to follow the but so that's the most of the studio no, which is the scholarship no. Yeah, but more die. But normally no mu bisa ha say there no mu say oh na ya na ya ha na do entire ni ma bebre esa. Ano am ya tia sense say akra no so vote ni important. Ano mu the different ones in so pi na eba. It depend ebi wo ha school no di biba, ebi wo ha common ni di biba. Ka common dey na makai. We obi o ma meta akọ me common website na so pa e wo one man primary school ni e say me koso e wo ma me hu at least once or two times a year mu so mo dey to so bosa the studio ntino o common ni website na so e bia na common ho dey na no e tell no mbe sha akra no na dey sua no na awofo no so mo nso mo income a munya so e ampasa mo sika asem te se ye boa mo a na dey sua no so e wo soro se etimi push na kra wo ya ade na o ma boa nti sa akwa na nhye da anya ade na o sika asem kwa wo na wo hia scholarship from secondary school nso you me at say betia start then I requesting nti no so no and sana what about university nso dey no and also working in which ways?
University is similar to the one that I just explained. There was another type of important I told you most of the students. I remember Sikano said one son. I'm getting in a car. I'm never jail said one time. Then one. I told me so most of the students also. I met my mom because every month be for like 1 year. It is university most of the time. I'm more combinations of this type of person studio. But university the important part the marking so also because people I apply for grocery studio and see even if your family is doing that good And tell me, yeah, most of the students, I'm not say, it's only here minimum a vote. He said, he tell you, oh yeah, remember from 1 to 30. We are 18 and the party said one passing by exam. But in the we 30 so and the highest mark. But we are the upper which numbers 30 and all that. And the party pass subject any exam in there. Why you so it is you have the mark and you are even provide that you are actually way above what it was requested by the professor. It's not threatened or the highest your mark is will always help you. Whether it's you getting it for scholarships or whether you getting a better diploma at the end of your studies. It's, but each they all have a different requirements that they will ask. So sometimes scholarship are there to help poor families, and sometimes the scholarship is there to promote good students, and sometimes you have the both these requirements together. But high marks always help. So it's important that the students will need to understand this because sometimes the scholarship are limited like all things in this world are limited. So if they have to make a decision between two students who are coming from poor families, and one is doing really well, and the other one is not stay, it doesn't have its marking good or is struggling all the time, then they will mostly people tend to be the one who study more.
And the scholarship no woyɛ dan koraa na akɔyɛ te sɛ bɔɔbɔ bɔɔl no ɛyi na yɛ ɔmo bɔ bɔɔl ɛnyɛ no na ehia yɛ goal a yɛde bɛyi wa firi mu no na ehia yɛ eti no wɔn na ne mark no wɔ soro no wɔn na ɛbɛboa no because edu baabi a ebi koraa wa provide nneɛma nyinaa ɔyɛ okay but student bi so a request ne vote nyinaa so ɔmo so main aim no sɛ ɔmo bɛ pushi akora sɛ wɔyɛ adegyere ho kɔ ana ɔsɛ ebi wɔn so edepend sɛ yɛde yɛ abɔ wo a wosua yɛ ne paa ba so sɛ yɛrɛ wo ho anaasɛ yɛde ma wo sɛ wohia mmoa ba at the same time akora nso ɔyɛ akora bi a ɔyɛ ade ɛwɔ n'ade sua mu ntina bi a family no nso hia mmoa nti no na ɔmo deɛ nana alora kosa baako wɔ repeat ma university deɛ no secondary school deɛ wɔn mi ate aseɛ sɛ ebi wɔ hɔ a common ne de to ɔmo website so nti bisa common no a wɔ no na wɔn ahwɛ wobɛhu sɛ ɛte sɛ yɛdeɛ yi sɛ ɔmo de to so nti ɛbasa nka mebie read me ma ne so ntimi nkɔbie me mfa nyɛ hwee ɛti wo bia no ahwɛ requirement na ɔde agu hɔ no anaa school mu wɔn nso bisa wohu sɛ akwaraa no yɛ obi a ɔyɛ ade na sikasɛm monyɛ yi a approach school no nso hwɛ university deɛ no nso no mo nso no moyɛ dɛn na mohu sɛ bosa de studio bi aba around nti mohwɛ wɔ university website so anaa
So yeah, well, so maybe I'm meeting you here. And I'm university beyond so on the secretary. Maybe this will be to me a corner officers, so more scholarship needs to be a meeting me a person or I check it. But most of the time the website. But the issue that people never call you start university, people never be doing let well, I mean, you who say no more scholarship people can meet me about it. It's important say ubusa. So ubusa ubetimi ahu obi a ubetimi akyerɛw it's a website page a ubetimi akɔ direct na wa hwehwɛ ni and I say ubetimi ama papers for ɔmo describe nneɛma bebree ubetimi abɔ. But the important university be a list of scholarship. I am not try to say students now. And if you more has a scholarship, you know, local university level, it comes from different sources. Thirdly, if the university itself, and I say if the government, and I say most of the time, if the companies, because companies be all this the kinds of years pharmaceutical research. I thought be a better scholarships students of Lucia and medical research. I'm to say I'm a so now later almost a good now almost to more more position later on into important pass upusa and then at the foundation who never be
enti ani awofo no ma encourage your man for that nya me ya na da acha kwan si we ewura university ha encourage say onye don search because na kan no ko shas na ba ko minu bu okran ka na be boa ni pa ade ba kwan ma akra so na ni gi school zone say especially university so satan wani ni o nti no so on so ko na bi a wanya scholarship no timidi twetwa ne ho ni school mu nyina no e ma no so na ni gi na ni nyina e meta awofo no so nti e ma no so ye free ma ni so ade nti on so ka say so hu ni nti wana say ba ko minu bu okran na be twa mu fan ho na obe qualify e twa die bi na obe hu ya o take advantage of na wo de na unya aye no ja from the secondary school na unya aye na say university de pe na bossa the scholarship unya bi
high school in Korea not that's new scholarship
okay
because I went through all 5
okay
just going through it and high school is who you able to return I was a special scholarship before for that exams so we just say so maturity is 1 to 100 we pass maturity and so we just say when I say check to know there most of the times more a scholarship so we one time scholarship here within the amount say why you are there with the almost celebrate students almost mean perfect marks and also one time it's still music be with me use for university and I say so person when go university for say
oh na cause we ya de bia on sa kan ye wo dia like otenuto etuo aha
it took me high school and I say come again there's a lot of a lot of people can show you the right way to look into it but even if you are like in need because when I was especially in the university there was a lot of time that I could have gone through my university with way more time I could apply to university but most of the time I was searching for a job, I was doing some part-time job, and there was some scholarship that if I knew I could apply to it, I could have got something that could have. It wasn't like 10,000, but it was something that could have helped me.
Yeah, so that you can have more time for your studies or to relax a little bit instead of you to be there doing a part-time job. Because and I think that's that time so because I say internet no but no it's not like right now na go and so and our parents no so ebi omo baby sama ye no mo shida ni hu knowledge bi kwa wan ko school ni wa hand na de wo okra obu okra wonim so kwa ye immediate ni bi kakra wonim pete kakra oba hwehwa bisa na odi nkomo na oni mere wa fo so oba ba out reaching out as okonya parents ebi bibi ntino pete no to emisa ati say ono so ne pen so no some years back ntino e ba sa na we sent to we nya nti ba so say this is something so ayi nyina no yesua ne my man start say secondary school, university, me pete na me increase na at the highest level because they say at the chroma me movie no mo trying to me show them fee papa they do what they many baby because was be bro ho no manaka or rice so oje and I remember minim that say some years back no year ejuma bi wo baby bi to say no ko university na no onim na oje sa scholarship na hu nya so ka ko ye ejuma e dey aboa ne ho ana say ya pese o to bibi ntum pese be help parent na no scholarship personal request but that time no when hu no INGB ebi o ha wa INGB and the money part this time no say man no e bo mo no money sua nkwade a ye encourage wo mo nso alora say na about 6 na person me start for some questions be pacho the person me start for some questions be efa can say the discussion but yeah, 1 minute. Who will be our person who can. I know say questions in be brain, no, I be answer. The person can be, but if there is one particular thing, the person who can have the master be out to patch why.
So
if I want to open the line now, so say no, be a question.
Okay.
Yakasa kakra fine, no makasa. And I know say some of the things new over what can I say almost baby say baby repeat and answer one kind or be true questions never out. But before now maybe a line to know bibi why important I say okay because our questions never na bibi why I say okay na me be waiting to name go ahead.
Okay, maybe this. So as I was, or for the choice of the high school, important parents or follow or child education, even when they're like, especially when they start like elementary. So what I said, or tears here, baby, I call any idea, any baby, I call no idea. Nti omu year school I made and omu choose high school. Most of the time, your parents now are going to choose for the child. It's quite rare for to know exactly what they're planning to do for the rest of their life. See, important parents now prepare themselves by knowing the high schools that are present around where they live, how good the child wants to continue with education, and there's no obligation that Akwalana or call university. There's a separate sometimes said let's call university and now all your problems are fixed. And as I said, won't call university there, the father said we failed and that's it. Important what a country to say it and what the doors. They say one call university, but there's a courses we are going to my apprenticeship. Adwuma bebree hɔ a ɔmɛtumi mpo afa from high school na ɔmo aboa wo sɛ bɛteɛ saa adwuma no yie na later on mpo wobɛtumi become a technician bi for that type of working. So before there are some companies mpo a wobɛtumi apply after high school a ɔmo their own program. It is a university but a company na ɔmo yɛ their own program sɛ ɔmo himself we are from high school, but maybe you don't like university because the way it's structured, because the way they are studying. But company people are making me found to say we free high school. Now I want to prepare your own way with specific courses. That specific courses are over here. So you for local university, program here some course and now that company, I might bring a program here which me well for the future. And see, important say university no final step and quite a bit well for the future. There's Italy has like a lot of opportunities where you just need to know that it exists. Once you know that it's there,
because Italy has said so no. Manodo pra ne wa ha no say so much. Say adwuma a wo say nipa eye adwuma wo nsua no ti say akra ne kra wie na say bia oni chance obeto as because they be ni nchida nje school hu mo bresa ani ade a menjai ne saa ha omo wo courses bi wo ho betimi ayeye omo apprentice start no e bia bibia ne ho say tega na osua at the same time so you try and catch say osua ntini pain no any stupid but obewie ne bedu be say Ghana nyina no e bi wa be master wa de ne ho woni nipa be pro mo de o ma ne ba ha o de o sua electrician e ye nkra ne o de ye na adwuma nti say bi kra on ko university because university so say nya be fe dia pro eni kwan say e force o mo bebre me bwana na ni kwan say e force no bebre say ko university wo yes na wo ha ne so o tete say bedu be nkra bebre timi ye ne ma bebra and then issues bebre but say ono anu wo panim na de sua ni to pese wo kwa e de yakopon ase but say wo hwe na or ya cry, na ninja and chimonia, the main giant sign, never one say, when ya baby see, and Italy is one you cry, or more sign man pine, no. Como é que esse que é uma escola é school na ebasa osua adwuma o mami de ba na sai professionale la scuola professionale ne no ye frɛ no ha eno no okɔ nyina secondary school no okɔ nyina na osua sa no dwuma wo nti ogi both theory and practicals to ogi ni mi no nti we pie no na onim na ni so ntu company bi fa no sɛ o yɛn ade we nkwa na ya ono no osua kakra wo no o dey perfect ne ho saa na ha no so mo obi bia ye frɛ no starch ha e wo mu akwa na de kwa na wo sua no ukọ company bi mkoye practicals ho no wo apply me kai say me die say me de ko me prefer say me free fie kakra adan matena fa akonti me de ko ase ho no mo nti stage no akwa na be decide nti eba sa onya de school na yeso to request say obi a me pesa me be receptionist wo hotel we msua mo ka hwe stage and dey mara wa ha at the points nso be ka akwa no university ho edu ba bi nso na nka na me kohwe enkola omo ye special needs na me ko show na me the point eno me ye the je points ka me marks ne ho na no na kama wo phone wo hu nim dia ene me nyine yi na ma be hu say na ko mo hu nim dia na ese ko ma me je bibi na nka sa special needs nkula no me ye de me to aso na me timi di agi bibi emu odu a nka ene me wo we ka akora ya asabi obu ho no na we special need child no metimi assist won kra wo school me ko ba bia so metimi dey adwuma but that time no awofo na enye ani ahwe me sun san na ye hya ase ye ka no enkura na fa se ye guide wo ti mehu by the time I say me nyini ya ne do me be hu ye no na just say responsibilities abeto me so a me ndi me hu bi but that time na me de me hu me ma bag so am ekọ ha ti be se ma pa mo chew so an ko university mpo a hwehwe bibi ai bia na ni je ho anase opa bi anaba na akwam special needs children dey say me ba ma akwam onom se yenye ne fa je points nka ye max ho na me koye bia me kuna me call one series or two times me sheda nka check akra ani ye kohwe nkra ne omo ye job konkra ye asebio omo wo ba bi omo ne omo wo tie koboa wo ma ene omo ye activities bi an na to spa up to time bi say na wo abesin kof na omo asenya ne say na wo ba na o de amasku na be ka ha ti parents te betia wo bibi sai dai omo so bi a wani ji wo say wo assist bibi sa e den na wo sua e betime de wo akodru ho for that chin bi wa ho ti nya ne say bi onko university ni but bibi bia ho say ba na akwem akra no e interested in no yen try see e be bo mo sa kwan say ba mo chewa asrem e ba mo chewa asrem ti. Thank you so much for this point. Very, very, very important. Nana, thank you so much. It's here, dear. You can have a university, but so I'm university in Puna will be out here. One, I will be sound with one more for her scholar professional and any different way. Eba buano. Tell you, baby, no could be for crown. I was sweet baby. One kita certificate or any diploma can crave was showing baby. Yeah, soon say a big giant son. I saw one manner. Or giant say on factory work. No, or you're too young for that. Since our young no dear, aspire no. So on swear baby and can't wait anymore. Wow.
So we should share the most that you can. Because later on, as say we will come first now. We get a lot of
responsibilities.
Responsibility. You lose a lot of opportunities to adapt to. So it's important that once you're young, even in your 20s, it's important to push as much as you can to understand which kind of opportunities that you can use so that you can help yourself even in the future. You don't need to go to university by force. University is not for everyone, and it's important to. You just need to ask, search and ask, so that you know the kind of opportunity that you can actually use. Because there's a lot of opportunities. Even like I know opportunities I did not know. So it's important to ask and just be more comfortable on looking around.
Na se bi bro ni ya okofa nkuma hu bi bra mi ana me ye bi amafo we na mo siri ono ne bad boy owie secondary school na akwa nso peso ye adwuma peso obekọ ye kan say yibiem na peso obekọ school obekọ university bi ant no owie school no wasate adwuma enti me oye madam for no mi di nkomo a bibia no ni mi di nkomo ni ma ye fine na me ka tell say ne ba ni ye young ono kro ye bro ni no na me kwa kasa so to say oye young e so so onye interest so beto school ni so bi oye adwuma kama so movement ska but so the oye young no so no o encourage na course bi o ko onye ha we adwuma bi kwa bi o ha o chi offer e be ma o ne ade bi o we 2 days course e bi o we 1 day course e bi o so na me nyim sa kata me ye young no ka gwadia fo ye omo ye kan supermarket ye nyina ka me ye bi to ho eno na take time be breeze me ye to a ada me hie mefa aha muleto dey after me see me koye muleto dey o forklift dey ka by that time me ye the to ho because me lances from time me nya 18 years ton tika metimi aye dey atoto nti I say me hwe adwuma be bia ma me bia me nya be bebre na no so dem take time bebre sa courses no aha nti yen push you for different courses because me and all kind university is not for everyone din e bitimi depression no wakune ho obu wa pass exams na o so wa ka che na maame o feel humiliated wa kuntinya obia na ebetimi akọ otimi kwa afine ba wantimi ankwa mema ye nja o mo sa na e pesa mo ti ase ye push you to other things be wo kwa na e bia the talent o ni enim ni e jai ni sa aha nti na mpa cho me be questions start to pa mada ro ma wa pese wo friend na obisa question no
But you bet
yo such a sure
computer to my phone because the battery is low on my computer.
Don't worry, go. Social sanitario. Na say me be hu ba ko bi assistance ayansiane. Na mpesa me de to so sa menya ta man fa nto so. Aha, nti na me be hu ba ko bi. Eno se na boy library ha. Me hwa time no mo di ye na with me manu me o me wi ahwa na emfa ba sa time na ka me ko esa na akra bi eni machi. Ha. Enti omu ya young we dey pamocho omu mo sa kwan no say dey responsibility bi osua dey kora eko e pamocho madaro mama ba TikTok no wow o pese obi se bibi wadaro man pacho bi e ni tum pamocho ene ye kasa for school mu ye ni abre panti pacho wa pese o friends number na ye 3534460077 the number that we use the biano and no await me I join on pacho TikTok who will be a pese obi sa bi o mic ni mama madaro ma why bro usu ni mame we cry a few clear to me to am cry few bene me pa mo chawo mo am was mo mi na mo bisa question na your time no aben kakra
me pa chawo me chiawo good afternoon
yo afternoon no ba pa chawo me jo super
me da se pa se wa mama yakwenya se me kasa me pa chawo na me bisa se many me wo me ya mame me wo Italy na me pese me ti me sua bibi na me di ye edwuma na ne sa no me nyantie se wo bi hu no a courses bi wo ha obetimi e di aye na wetimi di aye edwuma enti na me sre bisa me nua be ma ne se courses ben sa e na me wo bi hu no a metimi e di aye na metimi aye edwuma aye me da se.
Oh, okay. And no the should I get the baby because B1 no normally say we will be out kasa no. Aha. Enti and no ye fundamentally say ni pa ne be obi obeti kasa ne kakra ye kan ultimate do a certain point because I don't know how would you sua de enti to say ye ma media obi say ye ni aye nyini awie no say bi a wo say Pancho mami we ano ansa. Pacho adaru mo hold on why na me nyina no nwi ansa pacho wa. Eti e basa. Tisi American me na say me hu ba ko ye library ha. Wo be yes a course no per assistance aliansian wo be hwem. Eno ye different from us no. We no na ye ASS bibisa. no what they share emrewafo nko a ani e wo us no so eno de yetimi fa akra hospital no enti nipa sa na otimi eye we nyina ana sa oyo bi nso woni gi kuchina e bia kitchen so eniema ho a omo woni nyina so bi ona say ayese wo search ohwe na say maybe ha say ya omo ba ko be bo no omo se kuchito omo kire mu amopam ade no niema bi apesa wo ko ade to yours a me nim kuchito mensu ade pam bia wo ba bia ti say na kebeto na ka minim ade pam a you just go for it. And I say we look around say then na wo pesa wo ye bia say your kitchen there e bo on mo kwa library ni na commune ni na wo de bi boss eto so no mama it na depend there wo pesa wo ye na okay o ba tro ba be yes me dem to so kra ba people ba fa to so me ni say so for this one omo different you just have to look for it na na ka YouTube for so there say esa wo na wo hwehwe na na we so tie esa una wo hwehwe nti mami wo de no hu ade property bia wo interested in na America no obu okra na kuchi na yi bi no ye interested obu nso osua ade pamti ko nya ha method name yi bi di kan ho depending de wo pesa wo ko ana say health eniema ya ti say also yi say ba ko ya America ASA no mo €600 omo chance say obetime twa ne kakran so tina keye nti bacho wo hu ade property are you interested I said say wo nya bibia wo interested in so bibi say minya ko say bi kwa wo nim hu nim de dada wo sua kakra bi man bacho bi o mic no why
me bacho ne etie ne say na wo kana no menya nti say no mo no obetime bi no na ye ba na me pese me hu say process for wo ha na ba say ne awo kasa obetime ase no and then I say
say it depend every plan house no wani nji ho but it depend dia wo wani nji ho a opesa we na opesa wo bem pa chokasa
so na America no e escola superiore no vamos dia como oferecer serale inti vamos high school dia anopano any afternoon anyway dedicated to normal students and but after that and you may know more serale say dedicated to people who are when you find one person movie of high school inti eu say scuola superiore professionale abbiamo se un turismo nasce a banchiero un po' di how to cook per esempio nasce school below to say estetista so bene estheticians nasce serale di bisogna to say even the school and the technician a buona serale in general adesso it is a school but yes adesso non passe 8 o'clock come quando sei 8 p.m. Until another and I will be something around as well at the end of the 5 years we get maturità exams on the kind of first 2 years maturità between papers na between for use ubeko university and also between use for any until the working na B1 perfect uti Italia petit ma casa Italia so penso unya se papers na di kan wana so penso usia the particular job here they were high school be yes será between for use and Italy so local school expenses, and also to say other countries. I forgot to mention this. Italy, high school, any university, it's not expensive as, for example, in the UK and as US and as other countries. And in the personal year high school salary, maybe so nobody just €150 per year. I don't know how much is it right now, but compared to the entire year, with me, which just $250 for a good position with me, use later on with me knowledge, any practical knowledge now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, na matter because na me rare cry feel. Yeah, it depends maybe how what there but say me say me ni na na fi Bergamo na why so pa. Enti no me kai say there were so many schools say na na ka no. Ebi mu kɔ no daytime ya na nwumre de wo hɔ no mo. Aha, na nwumre e de wo hɔ no nti no. De wo pese wusua no. Ebi wo hɔ no mo a o meka cho say kɔgye wo certificate free Ghana brand translate we Italian embassy ewo Ghana na fa beto so especially any ayanyini na yanko school wa ha no ana say o say wontimi nye no me kai say my friend back on onu say all Ghana kra na oye nurse but I have say no person owura us ni mo no onko translating sa na Italian embassy wona choku na nti oja ye no call oye diploma scholar media no ha nti since August na so atwa my say also no we behia scholar media license and answer ha but ASA ni de ASA no eno me hu so mo chiro wo so us no de nti etesa say no we wutimi ya adwuma kra wo hospital so I think say no tuna no level no high more no but ASA no me hu people we me hu say wo so de but nipa nti ase say always no the Italian language will be needed because I know they dey kwache wa dey be throw exams ni bibia it is a wonti a wontimi so enye ana course ba kon so a ho ye pa so ye ayuto kwoko eno nya se wo na wo ye ye kan say kuka no but wo boa kuka no nti wo besua ne ma ba ko menu bia be boa wo tikasa no nim say dey because ko fa bra ye friend say wo kitchen ni nyina so timi sua and he was also mentioning about a statistic one wa ha say no pese wo sua se na nipa wo be ye na ha ebi ko wa pimpo so ha ne ade ne bia wo besua fa nipadua ye siesie ne ho a omo ne from a statist ni nyina so wo chance say wo an ni gi saa ne ma ne ho pa ono akwa ne body ni to nya bi na wo so wo nya na wo body ni to so be ya wetin akosua na afi de aba be ye wa adwuma enti enu okay even any one chro de okay yo o man chro me hu also because me read ni nyina ana me person me de beto so some more man to body we abo but me ya menti me amfa nto so aha enti you can say me enti ase say ni nyina no wo opportunity no just say u bisa aha so wo Ghana so de in this case any untimi nye scholar media no wa say it's amazing no omo abia ye obetimi aye obetimi translate o certificate o Ghana no awo secondary school o Ghana no na wo dia beto so na o ma stamp ache say nye fake thing but ni nyina so kasa no behia koso de koto so o de o meje de why is but wo kwata class o edit na che wa de ehia say obeti why ha pacho mama mpacho so obibi kana sakezi anso abasunti mami bi o mic no ta mute why. Oh, yes, yeah, that's the part.
Say medical school, I mean, run up and Form 5, Form 4, yes. Now, next year, no baby, and teach us a teacher about we had no class. Now, or comprehend if it last year, because I said, in fear, and now. Case a grand a shaming cry said there be another baby of a corner. Best I could share different person, also be an active form of a hand. Intimate and mammy in you. I be sending Busa said, and no son, they say no, make a go school. And no casting in your mobile exams, mammy go. Because teacher no hand or yes, you old compare who was on any day no. And found so in my dear, or we all go.
Ma dai na ababo me. Fache mo na afre ya na mbi sobra TikTok ni so mami. Ofre yo na se ka me mo no kasa na me fa mami. Fache de mami mo wa no si. Sa dai na bra TikTok ni so e ja wa je ma si o mewu. Mami nya go take it to every mami. Hello mami. Nana dia won join me on TikTok. Ma dai na. Oh. Hello. Yo no afache mi o mi bra mpache afache mi pa wada roma wo bibi bisa online ni mu yen Mr. Ojina ye mami o why ye mi phone you so me to speak and here na wo
very difficult but if there is a very important choose course no media from the secondary school no and I said
Hey, me pacho. Oh. Me pacho, oh, me nti wonka line breaki. Oh, pacho. Me pacho, jina ye ma me why? Hey, dear somni. Pacho, oh, nyina ye say line breaki why? But the amity and say o si so to secondary school. The aka be any wa amity ye bi mu. Ah, okay. Nana, do you have any knowledge about the fact because or no in university we had here, but do you have any knowledge about Obia where we are superior in which is the secondary school we have? Nanko person ko uni ni mum other European country be and be full no e ba sa obetimi de aha documentary no akoto aso wo ho aye.
Say the overall international laws for students. So we in high school or Italy with Maturita, we can apply for other university in other countries in Europe or even outside Europe. But if it's in Europe, you can apply for like a bachelor degree, like in the UK or Germany, or Sweden. So it's what you need is you finish your high school, the maturita, and you have your papers that say that you actually finished high school, and then you can apply for schools that are outside Italy.
What's the answer no?
It's like the same way where if you finish your school of media in Ghana, and then you have to apply for high school in Italy, you just need like a translation or a verification that the diploma from school of media is correct and it's authenticated, and then you can apply for high school in Italy. It's in the same way where they will just ask for which school you study in high school. If you finish your high school and your diploma from high school, and then you just authenticate it with the government, and then you can apply outside in the same process.
Papa Mpacha, what's the answer no? Oh, what to say? Mpacha, no, kase. Ubetimi apply or apply no betimi apply. You can say even for Europe or European system ni mu kra more better again, but okwa different year there are only one or two documents via ebi on baby so no providing in our school na outside na normally no any kwan say a match program because e be quite me the Ghana the any free ha abra wa translate as stamp no verification documents in account no de ba hampo beye ntinye so odi free abrochire mo mako different abrochire na ebi ebe eyi bia sometimes no nana de na kind person me di we ka ho person me di asem we ka ho e ma wo fo no sometimes no to see papa a question na o bisa no say who or willing say ade bisa no we are interested say obey what better see say I possible the next thing I will be encourage akra na wa wo fo no be fa to ho so I will be any say a classroom is no person or course no mo be try mo be read online how to go with it so when you obi no waye no o kire o pepe so they return code but say onya obi a ebi wo kwa email obi da ho be send we bisa then no what to aso san because obi an we be person work and yen na be difficult say be hu obi an be person work ne de because onu say aye ne kasa work university wa ha but at least one may hu say possible ebi kwa dey omo dey free Ghana badia then up to us and answer apart say na yes a job no say on to us no because me hu awfo be bra omo man no e wo Ghana opese apart be go school e to aso wa ha enti onya na ka me give ti a chain procedure no to nurse bonkum to nurse nifa to nurse right na me nya bi sa ga me nya ma kire no Eti me encourage am say no ono Ghana oko school university man ko bi ono na ko bi ana no reading more online no share procedure no na wa bisa me make to bi na me ni ba ko me ni ba maka acha na wo say obisa me ni nyina no de no ko no bisa na me bu afupa me ni de tell na me bu afusa it's also your research kakra de eti ba wo chow awo for say wa wo be yo so be encourage you na me pa chow mami ya was ne ba no or secondary school the 4th year ni na akra na so we share teacher bi a oye racist on pa na asem or ha akra ne ba sa na akra na disturb ti ko be so ma akra ne sesen school ana right now there on sesa na ansa obi so choice say anko ma akra ne sesa class ne ba so sa no office sa issue no sesa akra ne class asem bi sa no wo ho asem ka because I know say bi amu share bi me so me share bi there na o bibi sa obe suggest ya mama dai.
Yeah. So we can make that kind of problem. That it's you can apply for the school to change the classroom for the students, or if it's really needed, then you can even change the school itself. But I mean, when you're changing school, it's more difficult because you have to prove. You have to get some certificate from the original school that this is what the student is studying and this is its level and this is how. Even if you change school, that student is still be able to perform on the same level. But it's not nothing that difficult because every year students change schools like all the time. So and especially in high school, if you just need to understand that you can move from a technical school from another technical school really easily, no problem at all. But it's when you're trying to move from, for example, a professional school to a technical school that you can not have an issue because they might ask the student to do some tests to show that they can work in these schools. Or if you're moving from a technical school to for example, in the liceo, they are studying Latin or ancient Greek. If the student is coming from a technical school where they don't study those kind of stuff, they might ask the student to actually do a test to show that he can actually perform in that school. But if the school is the same level, then it's quite easy to change.
Okay, mami so ampacha uti mu aye no.
Never try me tea na the specific say na all for wetin as class no so there. Who say the mo be ma kwant. Next we mo call next year na wetin as class.
Yeah, so school.
Esa ko school secretary ho. Secretary ho no.
Because if you're changing school, you don't really need to talk with the original school. You just get the documents that you need and then you move on. But since if the students want to still be in the same school, then you need to talk with the secretary and maybe with the dean to show that there is this issue that's going on with this professor in the child. And I think it's important to highlight to the school itself, and if it's possible, if you can have like a physical note that you talk with the dean about this issue, and make sure that you don't lose the certificate or that note. So that you can say that hey, there's this issue here. I talk with the people in power, and if anything happens in the future, you can still say, hey, I try to highlight this problem, and this is the response that I got.
I think say mami who dey no dey say I late kaka because no opa che say nka bia woni obi kura di hu nkomo na e bia wa hu say change bia ama omo anye bibia amfa ho anka obeti kwa kasa o emri bi say me ni omo kasa ya so no situation here the same because they say omo be ma kwant no the following year no so on person obi wo bi em ti no ni nyina wonu betimi a try any secretary and akasa and maybe a school mistress no so ebebe or mister no ebebem no achom so e bia obani faces and challenges in that class no o prefer say o best stand class and I think say na can also stand class no ebe ya more easier for you than changing school na nkasa because so changing school na baby all connect the all year we ni nhia obekwa ko face difficult na no kasa bi okra omusua latin on so start grade bi latin we nhia and a particular but class per year and no dey nhia da anye big deal e bi asante for now no pa. Okay, yeah, share Patch sister princess and so the comment be at I'll say my son wrote a letter to the prospector of the school and state his reason. Why? Hey, it's mo pa mama obi emwa mo na mo nye bibisa amfa. First of all, mo ko bisa. Then so be here letter be say ya na mo abo. Na mo dey amo no assistant the class mama na be on so be peace of mind. And I don't want to but I'll say
You said document everything. Don't lose those letters that you're sending. Don't lose the letters that you receive. Just make sure that the things are there so that if in the future something happens, you can just say this is the document that we have. These are the reasons why we applied for that. And just make sure that everything that you are providing to the school and whatever the school is providing to you, just make sure to save them because in case you need them for the future.
Okay, yo, thank you so much. And me pamocho. In these days, me call me ba penny no nto mo no de mo gusu peja kakra a meeting. And students and teachers for issue we no it seems say oh mami ba kon na back as we Italy ni. Akwa ni teacher ni bi wo problem. Ti ete wa na ye twen say bedru we stu every no omo kana me so me to na me tie bi. Na the way akwa ni bu afu teacher na ne maami so wonya abotre na. Oh, was it? Enche onya ni biem nti onya aboto sen che say pupo papa say bem sometimes nso no etimi sha say yakwa ye mpanifo utimi kodu ba bi na wa hia obi unim ne wa ye no town pe wa asam si no ni mi dada na ha it is ana obu on so a ada so ye racist ana say ne kra na we die ni hia nti aba sa obadwene ho saa nti since I all complain the parents their responsibility say ye bibi fa we no there pamocho misremo never sit down yɛbɛpa mo to asrɛ mo ha sɛ woyɛ biribi fa wo deɛ wafam deɛ a wobɛtumi ayɛ bia ne yɛnhwɛ sɛ bia nyame bɛyɛ adena ɛbɛma no peace of mind na watumi asua adeɛ kɔ n'anim te sɛ ayɛ ne mom confidence nso ba fam ne ade bebree
na say still na say saa na ɔyɛ because na ɔsi osua de bo a ɔde no bɛda kora bɛ 1 or 2 hours anɔpa no problem na nyane no enti ɔso bo a wɔn sa di wayɛ ade no pa bu ba ko so ne teacher no wa ma no wɔn na obi a wansua kora no wa ma ni enti na ko so enti ɔsi bo a the teacher for na aka ne di ɔmo ni problem enti ɔmo pɛ na asɛm ɔsa no ɔmo sɛ asɛ sese no sesa kakra bɛ no sɛ a sese the na first what na asɛm no ɔsia teacher no ko so ɔko so mu ka sɛ ɔmo so wɔn tiri nya mo hwee but sɛ de wa kyerɛ me mu die me hwɛ sɛ nyame ya do September no they make sure say class no no best sound and na sound
say wo best at activities here o wo aha no ma hu say next year no be sisan ba ho onye say September the year start aha until right now na start co secretary a ona ni omo nkasa o memo appointment president bebem na fine ko sin here e be wi akire troleta bra we tu wana mo na 1 month na 1 month mpo na ka o be makwan ano no aha until at least what tu wana mti bibia so sidan so nusa September no wasesa okọ class asumesi here thank you so much princess thank you so much yes sister akọ the tip of ning na ma asesa September no ebeba no pa mo chewa why that was so massive fire sra for me put your man share teacher for there teacher be no am share na no on pemasam no I know there as a from Ghana na teacher for pemasam what can you na me share teacher for near mas near but student for any woman na me faces a challenge no to me copy baby no akọ share as be kwase for na omo how I train me pa sister Casey am chia opa
gift image so
hey akwago thanks for joining your papa chow mo am pesa mo ye wo secretary asa kezi ana ba mo kwoche no ize kwoche no bibi e fa kafo kwoche no ye kan so pese usua Italian mo am ye no ma ba onu nko an wa ya wontimi nsua no ai petit chama no onji kese bia nso we aye eso adwuma bi sa o ya ache aha oji kakra na on kire no wontimi fa passing ko ne card na ne passport no informa so kezi am pache discussion wo bibi ana pese wo ka on
try me work contribution kakra.
oh yo okay
okay pacho kakra me kan say ene na very interesting but I'm say US ni share and doors is kakra me kan say aya say na mo kan do be a parents no meti na say omo share down mo ankwala no obi wo hono ma ni akola ne ba school kra oni baby an ba school wo obi wo kra PTA kronko obi da like neighbor no or that say akola na sorry no pa no go school on shut down for because on sika na le wona adwinu aha e ba ne san so a emwa enkwala no say for SS dey na mo kasa akola ni true media obeye sheta na akola bi wo no ma ono na da baby na da fo ko no hono pe so onko aha akola bi wo no ma o dey na da fo ntemo titi no ha no nti e bi ase na da fo no e bi na da fo ni nyimade a or ebi oko scientific oni sade na enam na da fu ni tintin no obi na akwara ne so ono nso etusu e no aha na ya edru sa na teachers for ne so boa media for teachers for no edru sa no mo hwe akwara ne performance no mo hwe akwara ne se no tie a no makase ye hwe oba we school we ne betimi aboa na anasi school we ne betimi aboa no aha ena pacho de to sumi enu lady na obi sa first question no na me dey make the kakra ka hanum say for a way koma e ma na omo nye eduma no ye wo baby a friend chetro pani biego no e mi mo benefit sa e ne ekopa se wo ba na wunye eduma wo nya hwia wo ko no ma wo ko tro bi wo no ma on be mama ye courses na na mpacho mo ka no os on be ma ye courses bia e wo on be mama ye eno na omutua omutua kakra em say one hour be em say ye have to 1 hour no depend course of 3 bia 3 we bia 4 euro aha iti ubeti ye choose course bia obemulate to bia obebia ubeti ye choose but ye ma me for no mostly no omu page man no omu ko page man na ye so omu nti kasa na so omu experience no enam so omu experience no to so no matter ho no omu te ho no but central pen bio go dia okwa obemo aye course no aye bibia wo apeso nye course osu no betimi aye aha na obi a wa ma certificate no obi yesu a obetimi apa edwuma ma wo aha iti pacho we ka kana na person me fa nka ho ana pacho for yes sister se wa de no kan ye no me kra mi sa mi shia me de na teacher ni o English ni na me ya verify bi no kra sa ma fa dot amba ho kra wo teme dot ma fa
yes any part of power answer but I got to the
but me you be on money pan is the same thing one for dot and so on no nti eze na mo kan e group be a mo konya o ko hia obi a ase ono naturally no nya rehwe so mpe wa asem but the thing is school na we group 4 ena ye hanum say ne so be a class no school mo na ye ba ko pe subject no choose ye no class ne ye ba ko pe nti ano na ba ne sa na on me choose class for ena so we choose class for ena ji say o kosisa course no because maybe be am me call no na ye subject na ye no administration financial marketing na class no na ye ba ko pe aha nti no se na mo kana e wo se okọ school mo no na one ene wo ye uma we ni ye de na kuduru ha no keka bia teacher na e ba ne sa na ne ho be ba fom abrofo na de o mo mpa ne se wo be keka wa adwen a kire
na sister say wa so okọ na se bibi nti won timi nsesa because e bi a course no akra na ye no sa particular sa school na ye ba ko pa o man chemu a eno de 100% say ni kwan say utina so ka chom say open appointment with school president no which I'm Ghana so mo kan headmaster so hwan no osisi you kwa kan say teacher assume ma kwan fa ni full name ni ma for 2 years ni ma twan ya won sisa wonim de oba no de na otimi no feel so kakra so omo fra woni ni meeting kra omo so wani abreak to abi pe e bi kra won jai but no kra ni obe careful kakra since we be jai no what time akra ni sa so what time akra ni sa o man self estimate ba from e bi na akra no feel e yi bi so be to so asua de ama akra so bi ko ya akra bi o ya de a ko won home den enti no way say I will for bet na no be etieti a wo ba fa ho die so no way.
Class ni na say one work say one class ni na gada because say because because of teacher among them is say na it was one class na gada say toilet e dey akoma school run arrest so be teacher ni no everywhere it was say me twema omo toilet na koma ni class school run bi it is the best no answer na membra ho they say na they almost so no it best me that was pa ma bo ame ya mi shira mo.
Yo, yes, yeah, that's the part. It's like kids and patch why we on. Oh, this is that's the part. Said the one joining your pa holiday. Dear Mr. Fachabi, it's me, Marshall. Miss Sama, dear, my basho papa. No, I'm ready. I'm quite. That's somebody show. I'm probably show. Somebody show my a life for Mama Busia for more bisa partita Ivane autonomous work in this case and boy. Pacho, maybe Suleiman also patch your question and say.
Your sister gets to me, Chamu Party with my papa.
Yo, Miss Mitch also.
The question is, the bar more friends SS2 our Ghana. And the Afiana with the number Italy Kuma say. Number 7, which I said, scholar the mediano, and scholar the superior, the put the first venue. Because I can make school, whom had the amount. And see, you could be almost some said superior, and I said, the medium, Jana might confuse.
Also, how many years?
It's over 15 years, but by August, middle of August, will be 16 years.
Okay, now this one is for you. Middle of August, no one has 16 years.
The issue here is like
I feel not in a free Ghana, but I feel in a free Ghana.
Okay, so he's almost 16 years old. So the issue is he needs to learn a lot of things. That's the issue, because it's not just the language; it's the subjects are different from Italy compared to Ghana. There's a lot of knowledge that your child doesn't know, and it has nothing to do with whether your child is good at school or is not good at school. There are certain things that it needs time to get used to it and to be prepared. So you might need to talk with different people. So because it's kind of in the middle of
the age are tricky, the age they are very, very tricky. So 16, so almost 16.
If you put him in high school, I personally don't think he's prepared to go through the normal high school that he has to go through it in Italy. And if you go to media, he's too old for that. There's like a lot of barrier between him and the normal child of that age. So you might need to talk with the commune, and maybe they might address you to some specific high school where they can create like a program for him to help him maybe in the first year or 2 years he's in Italy, in order for him to get used to the internet system. And also there is if he starts like a normal high school, in just 2 or 3 years he has to do the maturity, the final exams. That's going to be really difficult for a child to have like a good market and to have like a better understanding. But that will always translate. I don't know if your child wants to do university or not, but that will always translate into the university level too. So, but in the case your child is more close to find like a normal job, then it's actually easier for him because he can go through like a professional high school where even if he starts from the first year, it's more like practice. So you I think in 1 or 2 years you get really good at Italian and Italian language itself. And in that period, if you are doing like a professional high school, you're not going to lose that much compared to other classmates. But if your child is want to do university, then it's a bit trickier. So because the child would need to get like some good fundamentals in Italian school system and to actually face the maturity. So, but what I'm trying to say is, it's important to know what your child wants to do in the future.
Yeah, Brad Suleiman, Obani age, I ne ho tricky kakra because unsa I was 16 years. So that case I mean but me reach a point because on no ba later I had school near starting and near kasafa about the fact say omo the age and I tie ko. It's normally no ka secondary school ko be we no do one no 18 to 19 years. Obey say nkanya afa no waba no wait till ha 16 years getting to 16 years scholar obligatory no say na ye sha ase na ye sua or ye free mu nti superior ne ka ka ni 2 years or the eba be but afa no waba kasa na ye bury ama no ana scholar media na na want to say Ghana you can say je no me ka ye mama mia superior ne ye SHS na media no pa no ne Ghana de ahia aha enti right now no so Ghana or Ghana ekwa so SHS that am ebo a
no HHS2
aha say no you can say aha say no ko busu e ko ni 3 so na Ghana so ko ni 3 mu ya but kasa no e problem ma no because after na oba system nim ana ono make kasa say ne ko na chi a sen konko media na wakoye panyin ama media fo no dodo mususa dodo eno na ya to 14 years obeye gran wo mumu dodo ya sai mo akla no ana ama ne so konya nim bebre aka ne 2 years no be tro final exams no cause obekọ ne third mu tini third no aka 2 years bi no obekọ ne final year kasa no on me fan trauma to return m1 no enti de no opa training say anka ne bo an say try na anka ne komu ni nkasa naka for now because na yet ase say secondary school obeko bia e wo Italy ha de hia so obebo ne homo so so that choko university dia owi obetimi a choose which I chere in beginning we ballet and bia want apart from one bi na bi wo no mo ye exams as na amaye wo wura but do na no omo ta accept then no wura man na be chere say obetimi akwa na say wontimi nko ba ono mo kasa na any problem kasa ye problem akwa we na wasan so konya 16 into no obesa suggest say any communicate na common pe secondary school at the same time no betimi amana ko no san sua kasa no enso aka omunye program ma school available to give her that plan no the eti o kan meeting as say me kai say me so ba na manyini kakra ba me kwa be de na ka scholar media ampo na me ko na me 13 years but ena am say na afi na ma ba kasa na ye problem na me ko scholar media no ana na o ma ye program am the teacher ka class na me mente enti omudro ba bia o ma me ko na me ni teacher foforo bi Italian pe eche ye be doso o de awo won kula different bi ba ya na dru ba bia o ma ye me nshida nka ye se a chese na 2 times a year a week o say 3 times so ye wo school wa na ye ne san kura ne ko akosha teacher na che ni enu so be che Italy kasa no by the time at the same time ni school so move together enti san no o kasa o mo suggest am say ka unya secondary school ni bia o betimi aye sa plan na ma no with essential child na who say betimi aboa no for the meantime we say and they have it anyway because makai say me wo ba ko on so sa no okọ no mo mani sua Italian so they have it yes obenya school so I can say be a ben wo betimi akọ ni ada ti ha no mo the age na ye adwuma pa because omo e plan ni say 18 to 19 na secondary school we no start university so up to age be say no be area normally say na tie ba ko na bia bibi akɔso no aka na 1 year ne ade hen no do wo but nurse do do na no e mu akasa ne say age no ya plan akwa ne life that ato into omo ha say school no lesson ne kwa de wa we say so omo ya minister of the instructor na achro ti because no man ntimi ankɔ se ko read by ya mo be extra one ahyehyem kopim time a wo be hia hours no ana akra bi yale watena fie pa oba be yes hours na hye obi amakwan obekɔ akɔhyem obekɔ ahyem ansa na watimi ne o makɔ the next year mpacho say no de nyina ya hours mo hye bi this ha etu be die no okɔ akɔnya 16 to ono no akɔhyɛ mfimfin sesei the 2 years on the betro finance on to me take as an infant try the obe fail ha nti bomani ase woni waba ho for sa na sense so Charlie obi amo won be kasa no aboa we secondary school a ono akwa betimi aye course na mamo a on betimi aboa na obesua Italia at the same time a na won so ma wani mbre kakra so ma na ni break kakra mu oyi ne ho se na ni abeso beso osua kasa na e bedo e bi no betimi no ma be du pepepe ni o makọ. But so ya grabia on stand page and also relax too much on her and the way won't me make it because cancer a problem. I've no best to be a casa will be a school. Do I have 16 years? Maybe I be sure say any easy for her, but so one na so for no one quadia. She must be able to make it. Why Brad Suleiman? It's a secondary school betting Italian no. And so I at the same time no more because never own feelings so I question dodo. Because SS or secondary school and the confidence no. It's me what baby one man bet me address our program no at the man. Because I had the age no by this time they sent for 1/3 year. Mona also buane pa share Ghana movie no Ghana near man no ebebre on fine right now where Italy animal say. Tifa mo fa to Italy near man no. This time TikTok hey any YouTube so much Italy ka say na uto ho books man no start no osu en kakra last time here life na make chat here for say me buy 2 years for na kasa na me nka me ba pa ya osu an ka give 2 hu me si oja kasa o de me hu da kasa de din we for be family abada kasa de din say eso edru baby no ni ano cheche me ne papa na ma otimi me din cause ma no cheche me hu mre wa for ya me no hu din ko ma no cheche cause say brother dey okay cry me nti on shoot mu dada do but oya young ni nti na dream mu da ho no dey dream e dan ka bi mu na obi o sa ba awa ba mu twa ba mu ye yo no fa no be on dream nti bi o person audition nti mu bia no obetimi obetimi any ashe me pa che wo ye pray do the question is say
so gift but o ma me me come personal experience
yo oh sure start case ya pa cho
me buy no na me benya 17 years
okay
I'm saying superior no unya 18 na unti omu fa I just want for serale me buy na me was 17 years nti omu ma me koje ade a chese na me was SS Ghana and I'm translating wo Italian na me divide no catch am so omu ma me omu timi ma me go SS2 no but me mama started 1 no nti de omu ye nse me first year no omu ma me ye Italian maths English but courses na kana na e bi accession tene physical is away no mama ye nti enti e ba ne say ye Italian na no mama me ye fe bi insegnante di sostegno no mama me bi na mama me na ko che mi Italian no na se bi ye English and ma ba class ye maths dey fa woni kasa no na ma ba class enti first year ni dey o man shut down consider other courses na can but through me second year na fe me pick language no and o mama me any o year languages ni na it's not be because of stay with you na fe me na class no it's in the band when you're 16 but say or call o mama na start in the first even though so Ghana no SS2 no o mama na start in the first year first SHS to say or SS1 na o mama na start Italian o mama na Italian no mama na ye ebia English maybe mama na ye maths it is on second year na for mama na ye ebia ko mu se kasani okia no mama na ye ni na but ade ameka ne say un se bedru baby na be kwakọ yes se de ase wo na we yini wo mu no nti e betimi eku akola na be mu me wie SS na mo 21 years but me sa pan na me start na mo 17 I think say me na be ni wo ekuma be kakra but ma show because na me obi na me school pa nti edru baby no omo repeat obi edru baby no omo repeat obi afina me enye no kwa na me epeni wo obi na me ni for the every one to say a cruise that time now, every let's be able to ban a bit. But I'm encouraging is a school any age. Italy for the just age I must
oh, but Sister Casey, I wouldn't post university or my newspaper. I'm afraid. And I'm 10 years they go to school, university, and where we say it's so for the confidence in that I come about 20 years. Maybe I know what's I dream no baby agenda. It's almost my plan yet to but baby skip away inside the because of condition. This will be any force society in one by Italy. Any force.
Na me be kan se bi omo ankasa omo classmate o yekuru ni kura ye sign wo n'echi wantimi ansua de anko mani wo sign wo n'echi to wo ko n'ani mu no afi no obi e wo so 15 years or 15 years afi no aba ko middle or 15 years but you bruni one training to o masa de number back abeka nkura no and 14 years, you know, it's 15 years for 12 years, but one classmate, you know, 14 years. And so one class. Intuition and I said, Sir, I plan between your passing in here, but man and family age in Shanabin. Because you're pushing to go forward, not that 20 years maybe be a so be any so. Lemons will tell you balance. No, but she not take us on to make a sanity express no more. I didn't be Papa Bebreno. If you produce no plan, we are signed 14 years or not 12 years in the class. I will tell you, for 14 years, only 12 years for this year. Intima Shannon Kunai said, actually, but man in fact, age, and Shannon. It is all on the fun of one day, man, and really back a man sanity. Really, Papa and man sanity, said, go to Casano. It says, on one day, I was set Yamian opening. Into the sign of the money in the program. They be all hard, they are all sure. A poor super brave, look to the grand handle, and soprano man handle. One listening crime. 7% that you may as yourself. They won't pass that action. What they will. No, it's me, you know, bad, but in your society.
Yeah, me patch your break. I do we are now. AD and not Sister Susan Patroni upon.
I don't start to the let's say I was let it be a just no SS.
Oh, they are cause some request here. Kawaii, Ebiana.
And no, I see me call around where which is best to spare me, sir. I will find on person or pay certificate to be a HSC Nabia Old School SS. Then translate near from now on the next one 16. Now, they send email. Now, they send this in touch, documents in your former school.
And yes, when I person no my requested there. About says how we I think say this one it's like easier. I think say this one say oh yeah organ and busy or my son beji. Cause it's a busy they are saying no maybe a school crap on school no.
Translate. And I translate is school na can go Italian when you're printing in the mouse school for no. It's my fashion and for Italian embassy. Maybe school for the mom and Ghana school the mom and I go and I'll translating and I'm printing it out and I didn't in a mouse school for.
But you remember Suleiman what I say? Cause I know probably trace continue your Google translating so they know secretary. O be say Sister Casey and so Google translate here. One ju kese bia photocopy yi na wa send the am. Oji wo Ghana. Me ba cho you brave do kasa why wada Roma.
Oba nyamisha am say
very interested and
oh, but you money how cry. But you AD and money how cry. What should it see bia? Enchene ya ponti tie bia. me say ye ya social na esi eti nya mu amabo mu bra wi a say what do you to me afo ye ya ma di sha de di abre
because me my uncle school no me pese ono school come be style bisa and Tigana ni na this year mo form Tigana ni na over 5 years tina me ka se osano afekwa no ba be private
I know say my mama secret me September twam ya na me second born no call primary ha na on sense no so aka na no pa agro na nkra ne de akra bi pa agro ne pa nti on nwura mu no sama ya on be ma holidays no aha but mo de na epe book book no say we obi a onim ade eto wa Amazon na obenya bi wo ho me de Amazon na di misika but so we obi a on sheda anya ade wa Amazon na be on tonton book ni graphic o area ho na no ko ho ma mi bo ye high obi wo see obestati prima no pe bi a o de besua wo so ma tro wa chire preparation for scholar primary o ma tro wa chire ti me to mass de na me to Italy de different base 2 or 3 na me de ma na no wo ye na sama na e wo fie odi ago kakra ani aye no so kakra eboa ne pa but se me hweta ma na afina no obekọ na me yem hyehyem se anya e ba yiri o but ye starting sa no nti no afina na wa piki adisua na no book no ma state say prepare no for 3 months ne ma obekọ hyehyem anya no mo de abam aha nti pe bi ma no odi ago kakra o ma no ma ye no so kakra aha krokitu bi a wo library hwehwe bia mo library wo ne fa ne ko ya ma ko ne na mo yi book ni bia no ahwe mu bi mo pa mo yi bi nso abafie o mo di ma wa ma sa de akọ na o di book ni nso taata no hu sa agudi ho but book nso wo ho na follow no sa na ne fa ha sa mi se na se bu okra mi amekọji bro mo fie ma cho age bia
school say the matter am the oya but you know problem with addiction so you know how na today the obe usame na eku anya hwe
ai unya sa book ni bi ma na o ma ye we na o de be fefa mu no o ma ye different bebre wo ni wa de no wo title no na wo goge na ni papa kra chire ni mu so mo se onye bibi se ya na enu aha no de hia sa wo do wani be na cho no kra so no wo na wo kan boko wa wo no nim se wo nim why onim se wo nim ti no aha ni se wo de wo ye o ho kantin ka se wo nim wa na de popo ni wo so onya peke pe no an wa wie ye o ye bread ba cho ba cho kas das Suzy the Hellas hey, Marty, what that room and I would throw this a bread about mobile CC, so what that room away. Prima media. Okay, is that crazy? Is that crazy? I'm a prima media, and must say again a school there here. SS. Hey, Debbie. JHS. Okay.
SS near superior. And elementary near from class 1 to class 6.
JHS, then that's no more kind JSS no.
But and from class 1 to class 6 near kind of elementary, but I don't see no only class 6. You could see class 5.
5, exactly. I school no do any na eta ko see class 5. Secondary and near Kenya na no. Eta ko see class 5. Me pa cha nana my training brem me pa cha my training brem. Breadwed nya botre mame. Okay, o dey wo kasa we na mama na aboaye because I don't know na obai ntini kwan se me Janet na osa. Me pa cha ye breadwed wo pese obi sa den a.
Ana me bisa se SS no mo fa na you know resources say no mo nya mo pass resources mo nya max say
and if it's one e because one pass
and I feel you know your brother no dey no bisa me so me ba no ba no or states it depend on commune and I say school na obekọ no school ni bi wo mo a mo very good ko ko e na I'm requesting you maybe I'm say do requesting resource last exams our year or the buy. Inti me grana minim so be GBB side lucky na Gana and make it report. Inti na me phone so na me yidi ma and on ma me send ma or email and one no mama antenna say to mama inti o de ni gina too superior too. Inti omo ba ko mo ni mo no mama na nko no twen o 3 months. Because no, I'm the first time I come to know okay, 3 months, 3 months, and then you say, I'm prepared. And how much I know, say, course on no person or year day or year or home. I'm taking an enjoy money, man, course I am. And no, dear, I can't capacity to do vanity which me as a son. Or the uncle, I hear course Nankasa or person. Yes, to me language and to me French as a
bedroom system name what name I be say yeah.
And it's a 1 year school. I want to put them was against one and put them home. No, we good. I'm on the one. Am I planning to me a good moon? Am I what to me a share or SS?
Nana me pacho secondary school no. Unya maths no from science yebeka sia yebe promote nti maturita obisa for maturita na say unya sen asa na yebeka se wa yeah
60 over 100
60 which is sufficient 60 is sufficient over 100 ko nyina omutimi ya 65 on so on 70
yeah and the number be
okay 50 60 ko nyina number be etimi beto so 60 is sufficient.
360 for the Musa and order to me they are requesting a scholarship.
And yes, when your numbers is so into the highest the highest the market will be and better for you because and then people are open one or apply for it. Into so student number 1 in just 65. Now another student in just 85. Then most of the time, most scholarship only come to the month here. I could now 185. But it depends on eventually depend the parents' income. Scholarship give you on her. And once I remember what families are some helping. And a scholarship give you on her. And once I person more students are more higher markets. Independent scholarships now apply into it. But most of the time, there's some choose between one student and another student. There, higher markets in there, it always helps because that's the way to see which students apply more to his studies.
Yeah, graduate minim say o ba later o ma yet as a scholarship no especially for university they say akura no ehwehwe e wo honum different enti no say family income wo from na say o mo bua ma scholarship wo have to help families o income wo from say so na bi o honum so a to help akura wo sua de no e motivating na pushing ni more enti to da bi a e so o mo choose dia ya na vote no wo soro mo ana eboa se ne okan say akura e was 63 no just wa pass you but before 85 na see e choose ebo say scholarship boy say onye ne hu nsu na so onko ne wona de suamu e de ma 85 ne wa 63 no ti abia bia max ne was soro ne de more no na eboa anyway but superior no maturita no from 65 60 kosoro enyina no the same they mention the news ni omo ye ne de no kure ni say ya egu so bomb me why we school that check but me kai say me dey say me pikin bibi are familiar with me omo ma wo guidelines ni ma choose so exams na all prepare ko no the omo cho no dey abayo na dey ba but orals na na any no omo ma yen ade yen choose me kai say me choose the history of Ghana. So no na you familiar with me Ghana ya mamre ne ade me kai say me de yi nyina akọ me nyina lock so nya book bi free Ghana me de niam bebre bi a Ghana ya mamre ne yi koye me de ayewa nyina akoye me de tapoli koye me de ahenema koye me ko demonstrate so many things about Ghana culture e kasa fa ho omani ji because nti e ba say on choose bibi a we familiar with say na omo sua de ane ye ka begin say omo choose bibi a onim say oba feel easily to do aha sanso na abribia no choose bibi anim say obenya ni easy ko choose bibi chinchin awa wo hu abebre obi ko teacher ni no to no onim ni ma do nti e say choose bibi anim say obey familiar with it. Since I will be saying maturity, obey onye ndu what but to prepare no towards it no. See, I want to do one, especially orals. No picky review on him say easy for her heart or can. Any dear ma onya problem behind. So my one grand so say kwine and so say pa mo chewa yes rema wo phone why. Ma me enja.
Oral is also in its birthday high school now. Students attending. So, for example, so we are technical high school. Those years engineer things. Also prepare oral about something about what you studied. So, for example, if you're studying engineering, maybe you can talk about how bridges are built, and from that subject, you have to find a way to connect bridges to all the different subjects that you are studying in your class. For example, in my case, I did a technical school, and my oral preparation was writing about aeroplane. So it's mostly I connect aeroplane to Second World War because we studied in history. I connected it to laws on how you can fly an aeroplane in a modern day. So I look like jurisprudence, and then I connect aeroplanes, for example, to literature because there was one famous Italian poet that was using aeroplane to talk about his political views. So that oral exams is like you understand they take it as an understanding of how the students understood the whole 5 years. It's not just 1 year. It's the whole 5 years of high school.
Hey.
You have to find a way to put everything together. One
want me escape ya menye easy o. Ya me be more about self how willing to do. Because so na na ka da do crep o makai. Dey you 5 years ni na na sada na wo keka bia bom dia form wo you know ana ye dey we ni kwa me hu ni se na say kituam ubi university kwa uti bomu more massive. And I think say Italy University so one of university omo requesting to so much pa ni pa say make too much so much enti mama student for no free ha ko outside na for say we te say na say we na ono ne apply bi apply adwuma with different country most highly maybe they will choose him because I have met on any maybe no dey chair no omo de no che say omo request so much sakra na oyade oyade nti say obi ye laureate akobas wa na okọ outsider around countries bebre no Italy for omo ta pe omo pa because of say we no quite do be fashion till when you come out now you are well prepared you are well prepared me dey you be shorter you be ma ba kon akọ university so we dem say na we ma you busy pana onhwe mu ma me say me read na me dey ade bi was way na nana or say within say 24 hours so reading 400 pages then I make off you say disturbing you tip I was serious it's on university na nya be fe dia akọ it's obi a otimi free mu pie bia most at times don't one no we are very intelligent because they are very tough and hard but sakra no ya akọ what really na ni jia you sua won ya they he can make it and sin na so kind no so I had the scholarship in it me by beginning no me tell us say no be class and na qualify onim ti wen ho a do ba bi ansent ni na kwa start ya na it can stress you out again you it's your pamochawa esre mo monti access of my pacho okay nana pacho ko we mu ma ye na Suzy me ma ni ntwato Ghana no school no almost say JHS which is JSS then ufri one no aba SHS which is the secondary school superior wa ha no now all can say ha say no scholar media no which are Ghana JHS no scholar media no on who difference ne papa between no ni superior na say abi bi on confuse but our funny thing say scholar media wa ha na ya Ghana no JHS ana scholar superior in Ghana SHS which is secondary school and America for say high school aha there no scholar media no na me yes by ato no aka chem for 5 years
scholar media 3 years
3 years
scholar media
3 years okay for 3 years no omo age started from also from 11 to 14 no begin no catch them me refi was say scholar media which is Ghana JHS no for 3 years almost starting normally no you can normally because say go over bit me sister almost starting from 11 years to 14 years and na me ka say 14 years no akwa na we na so go to secondary school na adwene mu mbie nkọ akire pi chire ho nyema kopese oye ti na problem kakra o was for akwa choose ti so choose edu e bi ko timi sesa de but bi ti kwa wantimi ansesa no awe ne ho abotimi esua na odi wia university bi o be request e wa ha no otimi e de ko so na university no wantimi mpo akwa nya hwe omo different years ayo ya kula enini mu a men force ni bebre ne mo bua no na on choose bibi obetimi esua at the end of it no edi diploma na kita no asanya outcome say adwuma bi a osua ya bibia ono so odi bebo ne brother achi benimfo akora say omugusu bepe course ne ade akọ how come say your man to ano yentimi empushi wo mo na omo nye small courses bi emfa enwa omo ye ba mo chew why enti ma me wati ase say wo ba no wo media ohun e wo so 14 years enti obewie media obewie this year okay so obekwa secondary o choose this year enu na na ye ka say ye powerful ni cho say mama ye fo omo ye ni ndi akire pa ma o very very important pa oba Suzy mpacho adaro ma una utwa to nkasa ma me
the question you have to pay. Me ba pedi no oba be ko superiori. That onya de mateka. Ma come no mo se mu bia o se le che o scientific no be. Ma just my young Amanda no ama school na accept no. But still there be me go say no na go se pay. And no na go se. You would be a opa, a group baby a ham. Because mathematics are not a grammar. Because meaning say, and they say superiority in the near Bucharo. And this a media na in Bucharo. Superiority, who feel a bit Bucharo.
Share, Auntie Cat said media ya Bucharo of it. What? Maybe I have consider kakra.
I can't be or send me the mema na onko solution. Na se okono onko solution na se eyele dia. Later no betimi asesa. But all the time no so na asa na ase ti wo ekwa chiri. Ukọ wanim na wo ba wachi. It's your normal son, then they are
with the budget, so one person here the jail certificate here. That's a straightforward. Money qualify first year no who say waiting and also I help so it's gonna be a so it's gonna be a student be a changing levels now. The third people they become even better sometimes. The third people your students be move from media come high school. Changing behavior people. Better for in high school say no media. So Nigeria plans oversaw the chair of the good year. Manico defense and no one say whether Obetinia and also say people here. Importantly, say so again or year behind say only lose 1 year because even at the end of the first year, so also changing school. You're not necessarily means that you are losing a year. Because the Chelsea certificate here one of the top level in Italy. In this, of course, high school being less theoretical, not more practical. It's a technical school. Without losing a year. The important thing is so according to one year the important thing is also following that years you still need to get reasonable markings in the exams so that if at the end of the first year you want to change the school, you can still move from first year of lecture certificate to second year of technical school without losing no year at all. Based on your question, I would suggest you to let your child do the lecture certificate. Let him go through the process and sometimes really students get better when they move from one level to another, even without no kind of explanation. So since he's so focused on it, I will let him experience it and see.
Yeah, na me bisa me ho say oba oni me nya adwen say na ye ka first e bia na damfo bi ko won tu no obeso woko.
Lebusa na wase de na damfo pa bi ko ho. But ono nso ya de wo mathematical. Ana me busa me say wadamfo Janet e ko wonti na wo pa na wase de bi. Just say Oshasi ena meko ha ena mepe state de cause de be echina mepe kuchina ena mepe si
Na obasa na wo so mu say age na omo choose no age ni wo from godo sa age pa na so obi choose ne future kakra mu say ne future mu ana oguzu din ma wo enti mi hu is asabo na mpacho na o kasa o say
That's because the third year be person third year that even though they are really young. And some year mistake people at this age, a mistake going to ruin their life in high school or their life in the education system. It's important since your child is so well strong, let's say like that, to go through the tuition difficult. And even though he knows that it's going to be difficult and everything, I would still suggest you to let him do the first year. And then at the end of the first year,
now only in na analyze it.
And then just follow him through the first year. Don't leave him for like 6 months and then ask what is going on. Like try to follow him, give him some space and some time to adjust. So sometimes it really happens that the students get better
me dream say to say scientific way say I ho no adesua na very intensive ebi kwa ebe ma e push something in here so no ono ankasa kwa anya aware a nso nya aware nti ebi obehu say pressure na say adesua na nya good I'm on the pressure ebe ba out ma say na na can ebi na be bring something better in here right now is hidden because scientific dey Italy obi anyim say tough obi enyim but ebia na ebema ni study no momu no akos because so pe o to person who stay hot there say we say to be start here say me obe stay e wo no mo and then 1 year no say bia really ankoye pa na so hu ze mani sukra time na nyina atnas na mo hwafofo bi ebeboa na team because waka say was say ha ne bebre the hands at least no ono so be yere ne ho say edwin kwa na wo ye kakra na 1 year no they finish na then or they akọ baby fufuro momo na momo no o ka say first no kan say so wo free low momo na wo ba high ni momo na edwin ti say bia wakọ technical school no ni madodo na ye practical because no why didn't so we kwa be ko wo be sua nsa no djuma now so wo free wa ba scientific and na no o ka say de edwin wo ntimi masa ha na momo no say onu momo free de edwin wo ko de ofon kakra mu de enya din bebre sa mom bio ti nyambotre ma na ebi kura na hwe obeso place o de tina ho obeso pra woni bewu I would use age the dia I for yourself bro mi nya do nti mam juju mo kakra pa wo so enye easy awufo nya me ba bua mo masabe pi obi man so sa no enye easy kra nya me ebe bua ye na ye benyi sister Kezi a minister Kezi ye de ye benyi ni wo sister ni mu kakra te na na so say ye de nya lucky na ye can say ye hu kakra na ye de anyini na obi oba ha e bi oba straight to adwuma na ne bedroom sa no to say ye mami o was aya na eba so mo bre kakra ha mo bre kakra but ni nyina mu no esenya me say onye madom pa oh da mo suma se pa say na mo join enti na mpa acha wo bibi abeka twa to ne apompa acha mentimi amfa wanya bo apaya because say 2 hours apa won dada me late there but 1 hour them dey ato so they are not thing na mpa acha wo bibi lasa obeka na afi de si ana
we didn't know. I think the person is kind of one that important say parents who follow the children that go study, especially when they are really young. And so you have to understand your children that the way they are thinking and the way the education system can help them. Like the education system, it's a tool for everyone to use, but you need to understand how to use it. And obviously, children don't have that understanding, don't have that knowledge. And even if you don't know how to speak Italian or you're not really inside the education system, it's important that when your children are really young, that you have to step up to fill that void and help them, and especially try to understand their character. Like again, not university is not for everyone, and even if you get to university, it doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in your life. There's a country like in Italy. There are different paths, different ways where someone can have like a dignified life, find like a job where they can actually be able to build their life. So don't focus on just this school is going to help me. Just try to build up the time when they're young, help them through the system. Give them like an environment where they can just learn and try to see what is best for them for the future. So yeah, just been my mindful of these kind of steps.
Oh, thank you so much. And no cry university they be so to me we cry na the question and was one fight when you hate you baby. Who ba dress na rock bottom. And there when the baby akosia no. But baby yes I dey no. E be do point on yes I dey because I hear obekre to washia o to ka no. Me nya biom. E be etimi yes I dey ntino. Sinyame ya atom na ye ma no omutie di abo o akrabo okro no so kra na e pre ne ho so pese oya na otoa so a ene eye na mom se ono no entimi na obabi foforo a baby foforo ne nguso mfa ya ni na echi na yenye de ye ho ano ha at least that she said be onko ye kromfo nkowi obi ad na mu no ono so ebede ne ho e wo ne diem ade a oye na ni gi ana kuma to ne ye yasa be pi obi ma so kra yi die ha oya na ye encourage no na ade na mo different short courses a ogusu ye na ni na obetimi asa na me na waka sa time na me na minimum aka say be different by as for bi kra gugu ho and na many time na nka opportunity bi aba me kura we me kura but sa time ye hu aha ene bi ba me hwe time na ene me mata am ni nhia mo ame me be bi course sport wi ame di bi ko omo ba makofo na me we akọ nti say me time ni nyina ye de o but it na me ni sa problem no so we youth ya ba mo chaw say mungusu mo awom nyame so be ya adom bedu ba bi no omo ebe ye okay na afi bibia aye successful nana and I also ask thanks for joining nyame ya adom aye be kasa e wo back doc thank you so much nyame sha papa bye 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 yo ya da mu ina mo smart nyame sha pam show nyame de ye nkwache na enche kwa next life no de beto so e dia wa me kusu ka mo say people also must see my name di jumedi ebe my tag event yamba 28th of June or this is na don ko papa eba e wo more than two say these days me ya advert na yes program na eba so to take it ni before ninya discount pamucho mo ma buy abusiafo bye thanks for joining nyame sha mo nyina abusiafo mo bye